All right, guys, before we start the show, I want to talk to you about our friends at Black Rifle Coffee. Black Rifle Coffee Company is a veteran-owned coffee company serving premium coffee to people who love America. Veteran CEO and founder Evan Hafer spent over 7 years on the ground overseas, both with U.S. Special Forces and as a CIA contractor. He even modified his gun trucks during the invasion of Iraq to grind coffee anywhere. Black Rifle Coffee Company is continually committed to supporting veterans, law enforcement, and first responder causes. In 2020, Black Rifle donated more than 6 million cups of coffee to deployed soldiers, law enforcement, and medical workers working through their signature Buy a Bag, Give a Bag initiatives. Black Rifle imports its high-quality coffee beans from all over the world and roasts 5 days a week at their facilities, both in Manchester, Tennessee, obviously that's very cool for me, and Salt Lake City, Utah. The team at Black Rifle is continually researching and experimenting with new roasting methods and coffee origins. Best way to enjoy Black Rifle coffee is by joining the Coffee Club. You pick your perfect roast, how much you want, and when you want it delivered to your door. They take care of the rest. It's super easy, free to sign up, and you get free shipping, discounts on their partner brands, and early access to new products and club exclusives. Awesome deal. Go to blackriflecoffee.com/dose and use the code DOSE, D-O-S-E. Get the freshest coffee in America shipped to you today.
All right, we got official macrodosing athlete Tyler Barron joining us. Tyler, it's good to see you again this week. Congratulations. The Volunteers are just off a 45-20 shit pumping. I'm going to say you guys shit pumped South Carolina. You guys are. Is Tennessee the hottest team in college football right now?
Shoot, I don't think I'm the one that should be saying that, but we're gonna keep doing our thing though, for sure.
Arian, you gonna say something?
No, I was making sure my mic was working. My bad.
Okay, got you. So we got Big T with us. Big T is a fan of the Volunteers, and he was saying that this weekend's game is, I'll let you say it, the most important game in the history of the state of Tennessee.
I said it's probably the biggest game we've had there since 16. We played Florida at home. That was an awesome game. But since then, yeah, this is probably the biggest one we've had there. It's going to be, I think I just saw it sold out this morning. So it's going to be Lane Kiffin coming back. It's going to be super fun.
Mm-hmm. Are we ready to say get your popcorn ready for this weekend for Lane Kiffin?
Oh yeah, for sure. I would say that. I would have said that. Shoot, for every game we done had, to be real.
Love it. So how do you feel about this relationship that we've got going on right now, Tyler? I know that we had some negotiations right off the bat. Did you get the merchandise that we sent?
Yeah, I did. It just came in the mail yesterday. Actually, it was the shirts came in. Yeah, I was wearing them things around the house yesterday.
Okay, awesome. Just wanted to see, like, right now.
That's cap. You wasn't
hey,
wearing them.
I ain't even capping. On God. Oh God. I threw one of them Jones on. Just see what it felt like, type shit. It was smooth.
Send pics, dog.
Y'all folks ain't respond, but
cap.
Shit.
Avery, did you not respond?
He didn't send me a picture, but I was trying to.
Yup.
No. Hold on. You responded late when I asked you to come on last week, and then we figured it out. So, but we didn't get a picture of you in the merchandise, which is a little bit unfortunate. We will.
Okay.
I'm coming to Knoxville this weekend. I'll see you.
Yes, indeed.
You going to the game?
Yeah, we're going for the college football show this weekend. So we're doing our Barstool college football show there on Saturday. So hopefully I'll get to see Tyler at some point.
So Lane Kiffin come to town. Big T was saying that this is the weekend that you get unleashed. Are you about to get unleashed?
Yeah, of course. We're gonna do our thing for sure every week. But I really want to show y'all. I got the man of the week. My dog Hendon Hook here, quarterback QB1.
There we go. What's up?
Yeah.
How's it going, Hendon?
It's going good, man. I'm enjoying it. Just day in, day out, working hard.
Now, Hendon, I have a question that I want you to answer, because Arian here has been quite critical of Josh Heupel's style of offense, and we just keep going out there and shit pumping people and putting 50 points on the board. So I just want you to explain to Arian why this offense is a good idea and why it's going to work.
Yeah, really just the upbeat tempo. It's hard for defense to grasp that. Then we just have weapons everywhere. So when you have weapons and then that upbeat tempo, it's hard to contain that.
Arian, do you have a rebuttal? Arian's been a doubter. I think let's put our cards on the table here a little bit. We're all giant Tennessee fans on this podcast. Arian is a Tennessee alum. I think he respects you guys. He likes the players there, but he has not been a believer in all the things that Big T has been telling him about the trajectory of the program. So what do you think about this, Arian? You're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth.
Yeah. I hope all y'all eat. That's my preface. I hope all y'all eat and y'all have the greatest college and professional careers. I just don't see that offense having longevity. Not because of the players. I just think the system, like that up-tempo stuff, defenses usually catch on. And from my experience, like I could be wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Like, I hear you, fam.
Oh, you can ask Tyler. Like our defense here, we was going against them every day in the spring. Like it's hard to just catch that tempo, especially after one possession. You out there running as hard as you can, and the ball going from every side of the field. You come out there on that second possession, we doing the same thing, and we moving it effortlessly.
Yeah, no, but see, I think the problem comes when you deal with like a real defense, because like say when y'all play, let's say if y'all play Alabama, like when you deal with like NFL caliber talent defenses where you can't trick them, and it's not like the bells and whistles, and you have to actually play ball. That kind of stuff, in my experience, usually is. It's why you don't see the option in the NFL. It's because it doesn't work too often. It's the players catch on. It's not something that you can take advantage of somebody who's like kind of heady.
What would you like? Do you want them to like revolt against the coach? What's your end game?
No. I prefaced you fucking my preface was I hope all y'all eat. I hope like I hope y'all do it. I'm just being honest about my critiques about the system. From my experience, it just doesn't. I don't see it.
Yeah, for sure.
Arian wants you to hand it to the running back. That's really where this stems from. He's a running back. He wants the ball in the running back's hands.
He wants you to pass it to the running back. Remember, he had above average hands when he played, so he wants
you know what?
Use the guys out of the backfield.
You're just gonna have to catch my fade when I see you.
No, I get it. Arian wants old school football. Arian's like, this newfangled stuff isn't going to work. Teams like the Buffalo Bills with a running quarterback doesn't work in the NFL, and we saw that last night, right, Arian?
Running quarterbacks, though.
And also, we should note that Arian has watched a lot of Tennessee football this year. How much volunteer football again have you watched, Arian?
My mom's had it on in the background when I've not watched one game.
So this is our way of saying keep doing what you're doing, guys. If it's working,
yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%. Like I said, I want y'all to win. I hope all you get the $1 million contracts your heart desires, man. I want all my brothers to win, man. That's for sure. And
Hendon, do you have any name, image, likeness sponsorships through any podcasts, hypothetically?
No, I don't have any, but I'd love to be on with y'all though.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. So Tyler hit me up this week and was like, "Would you guys want Hendon as a recruit?"
Let me tell y'all, I don't know if he'll tell you. He seems like a pretty humble guy to meet. 5th in the FBS right now in passer efficiency.
Wow, I actually knew that. Yeah. But okay, Hendon, it's interesting. So, what do you think you could bring to the table here for us in the macrodosing community?
Talking about, you know what I like about Tyler, dog. Tyler get a little bag, and he bringing the homies in. I love that.
Try to feed the fan.
They say, fan, they sweet over here, though. We finna catch another one.
It's these big idiots. They're just handing out money. Shirt. I don't know.
The mayor of the city being on the show.
We're gonna have all the volunteers on as our spot. We're just gonna have the whole entire team.
There's no reason you start quarterback, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason you should be cleaning up right now. What are you doing?
Cleaning up? What you mean?
Every business on the strip should be hollering at you. Every car dealer shit, like
this is what I'm saying. All right, I got some deals working, but honestly, like I don't want to get my mind off.
Fuck that, nigga. Listen, bro. This is not ESPN, dog. You don't gotta give me them bullshit ass answers.
This is real life. Like this me. Like
okay. Well, nigga, holla at me, and I'll help you out with like sorting out how to do this shit. Like if you don't want to hire management, because this is the problem, and this is why I have an issue with the NCAA. They let y'all finally use the name, image, and likeness, right? But they don't give y'all any kind of tools to understand how to work the business and the business aspect of it, right? And hold on, does the University of Tennessee extend that to y'all? Be like, listen, this is how to handle this, or give y'all any kind of
Yeah, they hired a whole little organization to really like walk us through it, to be real.
Take advantage of that, and if it doesn't feel like it's palatable, like you can take it in, then holla at somebody, holla at the OGs, holla at myself, any alum, be like, okay, this is overwhelming, and don't be too cool, but like, there's no reason why you shouldn't be cleaning up right now. You're starting quarterback, and he said you leading the FBS and
fifth in passer efficiency in the country.
I still don't know what that stat means, but
do we want an efficient quarterback? I feel like as a podcast, we want someone who's just out there slinging it.
No.
They tripping.
Yeah, no, I want somebody that like takes forever to get into rhythm during the game, and then like fucks around, throws a couple interceptions in the first half. Maybe like has his helmet fly off and because he forgot to buckle his chin strap, and then the second half he comes out there.
We want Jameis.
I want as much like. Could you model your game a little bit more after Jameis Winston?
We're going young Jameis or old Jameis?
Young Jameis was that dude.
Ooh,
Oh god.
Well, how young Jameis are we talking about here? I think like
State.
yeah, I think Jameis when he's going like 30 touchdowns, 30 interceptions. That's my personal favorite Jameis.
That's a bad vibe. I ain't gonna let that.
He is a bad rap. Jameis can ball, dog.
Yes.
He do a lot of weird shit, but like he could ball, dog. Like that whole eat the W shit was probably the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life, dog. I don't know what I would have done if I was in that huddle.
Whoever would have lost it.
All right, well, I'm interested in being in the hooker business. So you came to the right podcast. I think we can talk about that. What did somebody said?
What?
We're interested in being in the hooker business, aren't we? I would like to get involved in a financial relationship with a hooker. Can we make that happen?
Yeah, man, we can make that happen.
Okay. All right. Cool. I guess this makes Tyler your pimp. So
this little bro right here. This little bro, he ain't doing all that though.
And the 2021 Tennessee season was going so well. What happened? Well, podcast.
Trace it back to this conversation.
No, seriously, I'm interested in this. I think I appreciate what Tyler's doing. Like Arian said, like you find out that there's somebody that's got a couple dollar bills in their pocket. He's like, hey, I know I've got some friends on the team that could use a little walking around money. So you're a good friend and a good teammate. I like that. I think we picked a good person to contact at the University of Tennessee, someone who's looking out for his teammates a little bit. So I'd be happy to enter another negotiation phase. We've got Billy Football, who I'm going to put in charge of the negotiating process this time. He's kind of a shark. So I don't know if you've read The Art of War. We're reading The Art of War right now on the show. I would recommend doing that if you want to get into a negotiation off with Billy.
Look, we got to see what type of value you can bring to the program. And then once we evaluate the income streams that we could get from your likeness, then we'll see how much you're worth to the podcast. It's all about utility, guys.
We're just going to give you some money. That's just
basically
that's
cap.
Yeah, no cap.
All right, well, good luck this weekend. We're rooting for you. I think we are officially a University of Tennessee podcast at this point. I hope you guys beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Good luck.
Hey, and what I said, listen, bro, all that I don't want to keep my mind for. Listen, bro, you had a strike while the iron hot. That's business. That's good business. And what these folks will run around and tell you is you got to stay focused, and we can multitask, bro. They don't like to treat you as young businesses and young business owners, but you are now, and that's what you got to start thinking about yourself as a young business owner. And so, get your affairs in order. If you don't have anybody, reach out. If you don't understand the shit, reach out. We didn't go to school. I didn't go to school for money or finances. That's why I hired somebody, right? And it's okay to reach out, and I mean that shit, man, because these universities, I believe, don't have our best interests at heart. They're all about getting money, and when you start getting money, they don't teach you how to handle it. So reach out, dog.
But not the University of Tennessee.
You said what?
I said I'm gonna shoot him your stuff, for sure.
Yeah, I got a gram, okay.
All right, cool guys. Well, it was good to meet you, Hendon. Tyler, good to see you again as always. You're going to be unleashed this weekend, so we're looking forward to that. Get a couple sacks. Do the dance, or the celebration, the bow, right? Is that what we figured out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hit the bow, and maybe that'll be like a little commission off the top. Who knows? I'm negotiating against myself again right now. I'm just giving away more money. But yeah, we'll be in touch, Hendon, and we'll try to work something out, send you some stuff, and a little bit of walking around money.
Sounds good.
Sure.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, see you guys. Good luck.
No.
Peace, young brothers.
That's a solid Tennessee minute right there.
I had, if we're just counting this as the Tennessee minute, I had some other numbers I wanted to run by Arian real quick. Scoring offense, 7th in the country, 41.5 points per game.
I don't give a shit about
Rushing offense, 7 in the country, 253 yards a game. Mm-hmm. Does that pique your fancy a little bit? Oh.
What's the record?
I don't know. Sorry. We should have mentioned this off the top. The Braves are playing Game 3 of the NLDS right now as we're recording, so there's a lot of shit happening. 28 points in consecutive first quarters for the first time in modern program history. 45 points in consecutive SEC games for the first time since 2016. That was Dobbs, Alvin Kamara, all those guys. And doing all that with time of possession just at 26 minutes per game, which is 125th in the country. That's how fast they go.
So you guys are just the Southern Oregon now.
Yeah, I mean, it's us and Ole Miss. Like, I think Ebo said the total for this week is 79.5, which is tied for the highest in SEC history.
Arian is absolutely blown away by these stats. I think you've won him over, Big T.
I just want the people can listen to the numbers and draw their own conclusions.
Arian, you can't see him unless you're watching on YouTube, but he just left the room and he came back putting on his orange checkered overalls that he keeps, and he's got a pennant in his hand that says "Go University."
Oh man, I got a homeboy I used to play with. Who went to that last Tennessee game, and he was wearing orange Tennessee overalls, and we was flaming his ass in the group chat. But listen, bro, I'm not saying they're not going to score points. Like, every team scores points, and I'm not saying they're not doing a good job. They're doing a good job. I hope they do. I hope they win the national championship, bro. I hope it. But the issue is, I don't see that offense having longevity. It just doesn't. It never correlates well. All those small, fast, doing 1,000. It just doesn't correlate very well in the NFL or in when you run up against like a real defense. Like, have they played anybody who's in the top like 10 or like a
South Carolina's defense isn't horrible. I mean, they're not amazing, but like they have a guy who I think is supposed to be a first-round pick on their defensive line.
That ain't a good way. I'm talking about like a top defense.
So we're gonna play Georgia, who is the best defense maybe that I've ever seen in college football. They're legitimately terrifying.
What? I guess
this year's Georgia.
I was gonna say you haven't watched anything.
This year's Georgia defense is truly
the best. Georgia, this is the best defense you've ever seen.
They actually might be.
It's
really
close.
They held Clemson to how many points? 3.
3.
Yeah,
and they
pretty good.
Arkansas and Vandy didn't score, or no, Arkansas scored. Who was the other team that they held? Or did Arkansas? No, Arkansas didn't. And then Auburn this week scored like I think 17 points, 10, something like that.
I mean, we can't even get through the Tennessee minute without Big T talking about his Bulldogs. This is shameful.
Fuck out of here. No, but so I guess, I mean, we'll see eventually, but I
really would have loved to have that loss against Pitt back, huh?
If Hendon starts that game, we win that game by 10 points. That was, that sucks, but we're playing good ball now. Ole Miss coming, Lane Kiffin coming back to town. I'm fired the fuck up.
What is the deal? Okay, so I left right before Lane Kiffin came.
Right.
Why does Tennessee hate Lane Kiffin so much? Like, what did he do? I really don't even know.
Well, so he went there. We were like, okay. Like, I think he went 8-5 his first year and then left. Well, so it was the way he left. He left after 1 year and did it in the middle of the night. He called a press conference at like 3 a.m. and just met some reporters in like a room in the athletic facility and was like, hey, I'm going to USC, and just left in the middle of the night. And a lot of that left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. I think most people had forgiven him because this past time when we hired Heupel, there was a lot of people who wanted to hire Lane Kiffin.
I think they forgave him because the time factor, obviously,
right.
Like enough time has passed.
Well, and he's a good coach.
And then 2, he's gotten better as a head coach. And 3, he's kind of fucked over some other fan bases in the time spent. So it's like, yeah, we don't like that he fucked us over. But on the other hand, he fucked Nick Saban over more recently.
I think he would have seriously considered and maybe even taken the job if it wasn't for the fact that he would have been doing to Ole Miss exactly what he did to Tennessee, and I don't think he wanted to do that again. But I think if we were really bad right now, like 2-4, and he came back, it would be like a much more welcoming reception. I think now that it's a 3-point spread and Tennessee has a chance to get a massive win, like it's going to be heated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is what I don't understand. What is an honorable way to leave as a coach in the fans' perspective? Because like just from my perspective, that's just business. He saw a better opportunity and he took it.
Dying on the sidelines.
Yeah, I don't
during
think,
a game.
I don't have a problem
Being
with
carried out of that fucking stadium on a stretcher.
I think it was the fact that he did. It was also very late. It may have been January already when he left, but it was the middle of the night thing that I think took a lot of people the wrong way.
Okay, so if he'd have did it in the daytime.
Well, it was a very rushed. He like called a press conference at 2:30 in the morning, said, "Hey, I'm leaving," and that was it.
What is what I don't understand is, do you get that upset when an athletic director fires a head coach off the whim like that, or is just like, it is what it is? He wasn't performing.
I also think it was the fact that like people thought he was going to be very good, and he left, and it was just I wasn't.
You didn't answer my question.
What would people get mad if he got fired?
I'm saying, do you get as upset like with athletic directors if they fire coaches just off the whim, like in the middle of the night and with the press conference?
Well, probably not, because if you're getting fired, it means you weren't doing a very good job.
Got you.
I think for the most part, Tennessee fans have forgiven him, save this week when we want to win.
I think what pisses me off is when coaches are telling their players something, and then meanwhile they're planning the entire time their next move. That I'm not going to name any names, but the coach in the NFL that likes fingering buttholes who aren't his wife's the most, that guy is really into doing stuff like that. So I like that really pisses me off. When Bobby Petrino went to the NFL, and then I think he quit on his team in the middle of the season by leaving a note in the locker room
after Monday Night Football.
Yeah, so he didn't even have the courage to talk to his players after asking them to buy in and to respect him for whatever 7-8 games.
That guy's the biggest snake of all time.
Yeah, so
I'll never forgive him.
That makes sense. I understand.
A lot of coaches are snakes when it comes to that sort of thing.
I think if that's I guess that was my question, because that whole he just left. I never really understood that, because like they be firing motherfuckers left and right, nobody cares.
I also think it was feeling like you were used as a stepping stone. Like he went to Tennessee, was okay, and then you just got poached by USC. I think a lot of people didn't like that.
Yeah, I mean,
that's an insecurity.
Definitely. Yeah, no, it's like how
but
Celtics fans feel about Kyrie. Like he left and like chose someone else over you. Like people wouldn't be so mad if he fucking sucked.
Right.
If he was bad, like you'd be like, good, go to the team in my conference. But he's really fucking good. So it's like, well, damn, I wish that didn't happen. It does feel like that.
I didn't know niggas had sports insecurities. That's just funny.
Of course.
Yeah, cities do.
Of course.
Cities catch feelings like very easily.
That's
especially Boston and Philadelphia. I feel like those are the two most you do not want to use them as a stepping stone. You don't want to leave them scorned.
I mean, it happens to Philly a lot. I think that's why the Kyrie thing was such a shock. Like that does not happen here, really, ever.
I guess that's why sports is so profitable, is because people invest so much in it emotionally. And I guess I never really understood that aspect of it. I just can't relate.
You were on the field.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, when LeBron came back to Cleveland for the first time, they had to call in fucking the U.S. National Guard. Like they were like, something disastrous could happen here because of how fucking people felt. It was like a betrayal when it was really just a guy took a different job in another city. Like it just happens to be on the news.
I guess I don't mean this as disrespect, because millions of fans are like this, like soccer, football, everywhere. And this is, like I said, I just can't relate. And I don't mean this as disrespect. When I did relate, I was like a child when I was young, and like Michael Jordan would lose and I would cry, like, and it meant that much to me. But as an adult, like with responsibility, I don't understand the passion to the extent of like disrespecting another man, or like, like shit like that. Like I understand like fucking around with your friends and like, oh, my squad, because like I'm a Laker fan now, right? So like my squad, but like never like would I do anything outwardly to like disrespect somebody or his family or something like that, just because of that's when I guess I just lose I don't understand the thought process.
You can't picture yourself showing up to a game with like your chest painted. Because you're such a diehard fan of the Houston Texans.
I can't. But I mean, like I said, the fandom has afforded me a life's luxury, and so I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. But I just don't understand the extent that it goes to. It's not that I guess I just can't relate. I guess is more.
No, here's the quote from this episode. "Thanks for the money, simps." Arian Foster.
You fucking idiots. Yeah. No, I mean, it's marketed as like the ultimate distraction. You know what I mean? Like, and that's where I think when things got a bit too political for people, they were like, you're ruining my fucking, this is what I do to get away from that shit. And it's just like, well, we're real humans too. And people were like, no, you're not. Run the ball. So it's yeah, I mean, and for us, I mean, we're the most, like at Barstool, it's like the most hyper version of it. Like when the Red Sox lose, because of how brash and how much shit I talk throughout the course of the season, I might as well be on the goddamn field because I'm also accessible. Like it's like I could tweet at JD Martinez. He's not going to see that shit. I know you always online. You are going to see that shit. So it gets us way more invested into it. Like, yeah, it is very childlike. Like we do stick to that part of childhood through sports 1,000%.
Mm-hmm. Can't knock it, man. Yeah, like I said, I can't relate, but that's what's up. Like
there is like an illusion that we create in our heads, like Coley was saying, when people get mad about any sort of politics coming into sports, because a lot of sports fans do have that wall that's just set up. Where in our minds, like the football team that we root for is a representation of us to a certain extent, because you grew up. You know, that was a tradition that you might have, going to games with your family. It was a big part of your falls. It was a family event. It was a community event. It's how you got to know the people in your city a little bit. And so it takes on this notion that a football team is an extension of yourself. And that's why when owners like pack up and leave town, it can just shatter somebody's entire reality and sense of identity, because it takes everything that you thought that you knew, and you're like, wait, I'm just disposable waste to this guy.
I got two examples, and this is okay. That makes 100% sense. So when Kobe died, I wept like a child. Like I wept, I cried, like I was boo-hooing, like for real. And I didn't know why, and I had to do a lot of like self-reflection as to why I was crying, like really like like that kind of crying when Kobe died. I met him once. I didn't know him. He texted a few times. Like I didn't really know him like that. Like, why am I crying? And it finally dawned on me that Kobe was a part of my childhood. Kobe was like a source of inspiration in my day-to-day life, where it was like I would get and draw inspiration from him and take that and apply it to my life and execute. And I executed. And it was like a part of me had left too when he died. And that makes 100% sense. Another example, I was talking recently with a friend of mine who's a sports reporter who was from San Diego. And when San Diego left and they went to LA, San Diego's like they love the Chargers, right? They didn't like the owner, but they love the Chargers. And when they left, she was like, a part of her like will never root for the Chargers again, because her grandmother, like the whole family used to root for the Chargers, and they were so salty about them leaving that it was like her missing a part of her relationship with her grandma. Like they bonded over that, and it was like they're just really upset about it, and that makes 100% sense. And I guess that's why, you know, people take it to the lengths that they do. Sometimes they take it too far, but you know that makes sense. And I don't want to sound like I'm downing people for having like passionate hobbies such as sports, because it takes us away from our day-to-day, and then it helps us inspire like it did for me.
I think maybe from the athlete's point of view, you guys, when you're playing, you're passionate about either your teammates. If you're on a really good team, a really tight-knit team, you form a bond with your teammates, so you want to play hard for them. You want to do everything you can to help them, because if you do your job, they do their job, everybody benefits in the end, and you develop a closeness with them in the locker room. And to a certain extent, sometimes players grow to love the city that they're in. Like you can see a little bit of that with Josh Allen. I know that he's like in love with Buffalo, New York. And sometimes players just, they do develop that attachment, even if it's nowhere near where they grew up. But it's never going to be the same for a player to have that same like attachment that you have if you grew up in that environment. So it's just like, they're never, because they come from different backgrounds, they're never going to have that same like love for the team and for the city that you might have. But it's fine. I think it all works out. It's an ecosystem. We're the plankton. What's the most important part of an ecosystem, Billy?
Sunlight.
Beavers. Beavers. Hey, the more beavers there are in an ecosystem, the healthier it is. That's a fun fact. I think Big Cat taught me that, actually. But yeah, I think the fans are the Beavers in that case. So before we end the Tennessee Minute, anything else we want to, football-wise? Actually, I'm interested to hear Arian's take from the perspective of a player. You've played for some coaches in the past that some of which you've loved, some of which you have not respected or liked. Out in Oakland, the email situation with, I guess Las Vegas, sorry, the email situation with John Gruden, where the email was leaked from like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2011. It was the lockout.
2011, during the lockout, he was an employee at ESPN. He was writing emails to the president of the Washington football team. And I think he called DeMaurice Smith, the head of the NFLPA. I think he said dumb Orris Smith, and that he had lips like the Michelin Man. So
Michelin tires.
Michelin. Oh, okay. I thought it was the Michelin Man. He had
similar train of thought.
Yeah, but just blatantly racist stuff. The report came out, I think, on Friday that they uncovered this email when they were doing the investigation of the Washington football team. Inside a locker room, after something like that happens, is it a case where, like, if you liked John Gruden before, you'll find a reason to defend him? Or if you already hated him, this is going to make you hate him more? I'm just curious from the perspective of somebody that's been in a locker room like that, how the team would react to a situation like that.
I mean, there's no telling, right? Especially in today's climate. This cats is different nowadays. Like, I don't know how they would react. I guess we had a similar situation in Houston with Bob McNair when he said inmates are running the asylum. But he had said a lot of stuff previously. And I think that's why Houston doesn't really, like, the organization doesn't really fuck with me, because when he did, I called him out on it. I called a spade. I didn't call him out. Like, I just said what, we all thought. Like, I thought he probably had some racism. Like, he's an 80-year-old man from the South. Like, more than likely, yeah, he had probably said some shit in his past. I think when you're dealing with, like, somebody like Gruden, who's like a player's coach, and has dealt and been around black folk his entire career and benefited off of black folk, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, this is just me, and I know Big T's fan base gonna come after me, man, but I think just from my life experience, I kind of you're probably racist. That's how I view white people. That just is what it is. And it's not like anything that's a indictment, right? It's more so the circumstances that we're in. And so you have to actively think about the society that you're in and be proactive of why are there certain nuances, why are there certain things, why are there certain cultural customs, if you want to act against it, right? And I have some prejudices and bias that I actively work against as well. Like, I grew up extremely homophobic. And it wasn't anything that I was attacking against. It was just the culture that I was brought up in was anti-homosexual. It just was what it was. And I think we live in a society that's just racist. It just is what it is. And so when I look at something like Gruden, you have to, like I said, you have to be proactive about it and proactive. Like, when you're saying stuff like that, and this is why like, when you talk about, like, activists and stuff like that, they always say it's important for people to understand their privilege and their power, because when you have somebody in positions of power like that, do you think he actively tries to hire people of color? No, probably not, right? It's probably not the case. And that's the issue. And when you look at the disparities in jobs and that our economy in general, this is what we're talking about. But like I said, I don't want to get all in Big T's bag right here, but there's no way of knowing how they'll react. But that's just how I feel in general.
I think that's probably a pretty honest perspective. I think you're probably right. Like, just because it sounds bad to say, like, oh, most white people have some racism latent inside them. Like, you can say that a lot of people have different prejudices that are latent inside. It doesn't make all of people evil. It doesn't mean just because you have like whatever prejudice that you've grown up with, it doesn't mean that you're an evil person. But I think it's a realistic perspective of the world. Like, we're not perfect. No one's perfect.
Yeah, and I don't walk around like, you're a fucking racist. That's not what I do, right? It's just I have just from my life experience. It's just probably So you kind of have to convince me you're not, right? But I don't treat you any differently. Like, I treat you how you treat me. Like I treat you fairly, right? I don't treat you like any differently. Like if you treat me honest and kind and whatever, it's all love on my end. But it's just from my life experiences. That's just what I've seen over the years. That we all have those prejudices and all those biases. Like I said, and I have them. Like, I'm not exempt. I have them as well. And I had to be proactive. I had to go seek the LGBT community and talk to them and listen to them and understand why what I was saying and what I was thinking and what I was doing can be detrimental to them. And it's just being honest with where you're at. And I think as a society, we're really not. And anytime you're labeled as anti this or anti that, you automatically take an offense because it's like, oh, I'm a piece of shit. Like, I'm not a piece of shit. Like, no, you're probably not, but you probably have some bias in you that prevents you from seeing that what you do can probably maybe cause harm to somebody else. And that's all it is being honest with yourself. And I don't think we as a society are good at that. We're just like, we like to put on the veil of perfection, and we're just not.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well said. I think also the phrasing that Gruden used, like the lips like Michelin tires or like the Michelin Man, that's a deep cut. That to me is not like the first time he's fired off a quasi-racist email. You know, like that to me tells me he's had some practice with it. You don't just pull that one out of your bag. You know, like he's definitely used things like that before. And then his explanation was that he calls people who are liars rubber lips. And so he didn't mean anything racial by it, but he could see how it comes off as a racist statement. And like we said, I think we said this last night on Part of My Take, but we're still shocked that John Gruden uses email. That was the big surprise for me. I felt like he was just like a pen and a Post-it note, just maybe a carrier pigeon guy. I don't know. It seemed kind of old school, but yeah, interesting to hear what you would think. I'm curious to know what's going on in that Raiders locker room. Like, if they had won yesterday, they might have, winning covers up just about every bad thing in a professional sports locker room. It can cover up a lot of stuff, but they lost pretty badly. Richie Incognito probably had like a gift basket waiting for him. Sorry, John.
It's crazy he's still in the NFL. Like, not even for the things he's done. He's like 37 years old at this point. Like, it's crazy. He's like a captain on that team.
Yeah. I mean, Gruden likes a little bit of crazy for sure, and Richie's got that. I think Richie's been working on himself for the last few years, so he definitely had like some mental health issues and some pretty scary stuff that went on in his personal life, and definitely had some rage issues leading up to all that. But I think he's been under the radar a little bit. I think Richie's maybe turned some things around, which is good to see, because he was in a dark place for a long time.
Ooh, wild boy.
Yep. All right, that was a Tennessee Minute, brought to you by Macrodosing. And
my last thing on Tennessee, which I can't believe how much of a Tennessee show this has become. Like, why don't we have like an orange piece of merch?
That's a good question, Coley.
I'm in on that.
All right. Why have you not designed a piece of orange merch so far?
I didn't know that y'all wanted a piece of orange merch.
Well, I mean, we've got the fucking starting quarterback now, like, and Tyler Barron, who's projected to be a top 5 pick as of me just saying it right now. It seems like a win-win, and this seems like a good way for, especially if we can use their likeness.
So I was going to say, yeah, if we've got them, why we need a shirt with like everybody on it, all of us and then them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they would want that.
And they get all the proceeds.
Yeah, or whatever, however it works out for percentage wise. That's not my department. But yeah, that for sure is a good way for them to make money just off their literal likeness and our show.
Yeah, let's get some Tennessee merch. All right, that was a Tennessee Minute. Looking forward to having Hendon Hooker as part of the team for sure. He's good. He's a good player. We could definitely do some merch with Hendon Hooker. Right, Billy?
They think that we're such idiots just handing out money.
Yeah. Are we marks?
They might think that now. But when they older, they'll be like, you know what? Dude was trying to put us on game, and dude was trying to show love. That's all that was.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
I mean, we know that we're marks. We completely understand that they're...
No. Fuck that. There's an old saying that says it ain't tricking if you got it. Period. That's all that is. That's not breaking my pocket. Ain't breaking your pocket. All we doing is showing love to young black athletes getting screwed over by the NCAA. That's it.
That's true.
That's all that is.
That's true. And yeah, when they're a little bit older, they'll be like, okay, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Hopefully they think that we're good guys, but at any rate, we hope that they have a little walking around money, able to have a little bit more fun in college.
100%. It's not like we heard his negotiation tactics. It was like, man, this is tough. This is steep. We was like, I see exactly what this nigga's doing.
Yeah.
And I respect it.
Yes, I do too. I would do the exact same thing if I were in his
100%.
position.
Bring in all the homies, whole squad. I'm with you.
All right, Hendon Hooker, potential future macrodosing athlete. We'll keep you guys informed about the negotiations. But I think you guys want to just get to the topic? This is pretty quick. That was only like a half hour.
We're at minute 44.
I don't think that's us just getting to the topic.
Y'all want to talk about ghosts?
Boo.
It's spooky season right now. It's Halloween coming up, and we want to talk a little bit about ghosts. Billy, it looks like you got something on your mind.
He about to unload again, dog. Let it off.
I kind of ghosted ghosts.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
You didn't do your homework?
No, I have a good amount of homework because I thought we were gonna do it the other week, so I have a good preparation.
Okay. Are you lying to me right now?
No.
Let me see your sheet. I think you're lying to me.
I don't have a sheet.
Where's your preparation, Billy?
I have my preparation. It's in my brain.
What's your preparation,
Ghosts.
Billy? You just totally lied to all of us.
Ectoplasm.
He's like a waiter that doesn't write down what you ordered, and you just know it's gonna get fucked
Billy
up.
just lied to all of our faces.
It's in my brain.
Well, Billy, you fucking started this sentence out by saying, I ghosted ghosts, meaning you didn't do work,
ghosting,
and then you tried to say that you did do work.
Because, okay, this is what really happened. I came a little late to the Tennessee Minute, then I was totally like trying to get caught up with the Tennessee Minute, and I wanted to participate in some banter before we got into ghosts.
Okay, what about the 24 hours previous that?
Oh no, I have preparation for ghosts.
Where is it?
It's in my brain.
I think he's lying to us.
And then I have a couple of instances of hauntings I want to bring up.
Aaron, I think this is cap. I think this is 100% cap.
Okay.
What are your thoughts?
I think this is cap. Yeah.
All right, Billy. Tell you what. I'm gonna need 5 ghost facts, and I'm gonna need them now.
Okay, ectoplasm is what ghosts are made out of. It is a ethereal type of construction that no one really knows what it is.
This isn't Ghostbusters.
Ghosts may be caused by carbon monoxide poisoning in old buildings.
Go over fact one.
You're slandering the good name of ghosts for no reason, just because you didn't come prepared.
What them niggas made out of again?
Ectoplasm.
That's a high C flavor.
Ghosts are made out of ectoplasm.
Got you.
Then carbon monoxide might cause ghost sightings because it's present. Carbon monoxide poisoning in old buildings might cause people to hallucinate and think they see ghosts. There are more ghost sightings in settlements that are older due to
more people being dead.
Because they're older. Dead.
Yeah. All right, that's 3. I think we've got 3 ghost facts so far. Gonna need 2 more.
Ghosts are present in all of humanity's cultures. Like dragons.
You just made that one up.
No, dragons.
You were thinking about dragons this whole time, and you just changed. You did a Mad Libs where you took out the noun and you replaced it with ghosts.
Ghosts. Everyone believes in. There's been ghosts in every single culture. There's not a single culture that doesn't believe in ghosts.
Hold on.
What about the Sentinel Islands?
I do believe we don't know about that. Yeah. I do believe that every culture believes in ghosts some kind of way, some kind of form, but I'm not sure about the dragon part. Every culture believes in a dragon.
Yeah, I mean, name a culture.
Okay. Yeah, the United States of America.
The Jersey Devil.
I don't think people.
That's not a dragon.
There may be
No,
5,000 people that believe in that.
I'm talking about ancient cultures. Like there's Quetzalcoatl.
Okay, Egypt. What about Egypt?
Egypt has dragons. Egypt has huge dragons. They have they have their god is a dragon. They have one of their gods is a dragon.
Who?
I think it's Ra.
I think it's the
not a
sun.
dragon.
That's a sun god.
That's the sun.
No, which one's which one's the crocodile with wings?
That's not a dragon.
A
bro.
dragon.
Time out. You define dragon before you say
Just
that
like a giant reptilian monster thing, like Asian dragons.
shit. Yeah. Okay, so when I think dragon, I think like
Are you talking about
aerial reptile.
Oh, that's very
Fire breather.
creature.
that's very Eurocentric. That's just the classic European dragon.
That's not
Arian.
That's not
That's
true.
the classic.
As we have previously explained, when I think of dragon, I think of the Asiatic dragon, right? You think of the Viking dragon. I didn't even
There's
know
not a
they had
Viking
dragons.
dragon.
Or whatever the fuck, the white dragon. I don't know. What is the white dragon?
The white people dragons.
What is the white people dragon? Where is he from?
No, those are just like the thing that came.
Why can't it be a female, Arian?
Yeah.
There are no female dragons. We all know this.
Yes, they are. They lay eggs.
There was a female dragon in Shrek.
Yeah, and in Game of Thrones.
Okay, it was a joke. There's probably female dragons.
Is that true?
The doctor was a woman.
Oh, that new Disney movie. It's called Raya.
Right.
Bro, that shit is fire. About dragons.
How to Train Your Dragon.
And there was a female. That was another fire, which I thought they got robbed. So How to Train Your Dragon 2 should have won the Emmy, the Oscar, whatever that award is. And Big Hero 6 won it. I'm not mad at Big Hero 6, but How to Train Your Dragon 2 was that shit, bro. Oh my god.
Was that like an all-time robbery at the Oscars?
It's one of them. Absolutely. Big T, are you all right, man?
Big T's
Three-run homer. It's Jocktober, baby. Come on. Yes.
Face
Oh.
I think he just came.
Oh my God. Yes.
Big T, is that how you sound during sex?
Oh yeah.
No, I'm generally pretty quiet, to be honest. This is far more exciting.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Have you ever tried combining the two?
I
Sex and
couldn't.
sports?
I couldn't.
Not with the Braves. That could go
Yeah.
so poorly.
Oh man, Big T's pumped.
Oh my God, that ball was shit on. Oh, I'm so excited.
There's a playoff game going on right now?
Yes, and this was not. Yeah, MLB tried to fuck us.
3 o'clock over
The
there.
MLB's been doing this forever, and you know that. They always
don't
have
know.
to.
I don't
But
watch
it's
baseball.
always
I'm talking
us,
to Big
though.
T.
It's
Big
always
T
us,
knows
though. We always play the 1 o'clock Monday.
We played the
playoff game.
Athletics plenty of times at 1
On a
a.m.
Monday? Why would they do this why would they schedule a
Well, it is,
playoff
today
game?
is a holiday for people with normal jobs.
Yeah.
What's today?
It's C-word
It's
day.
Indigenous
Day.
Peoples Day.
Yeah.
They still celebrate that bullshit? Oh my
Did you?
I thought they canceled after that episode of The Sopranos. That was a good episode.
This episode already too woke, man. Let's not get into Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus is. There's a lot that we can get into. There are definitely some ghosts that he created that are probably still around.
This nigga like literally raped people, bro, like and talked about it. Like I'm so confused why we celebrate this nigga, man.
I agree. We should celebrate Leif Erikson Day. Mm-hmm. He truly was the one that discovered Canada, right?
And once they found out there was people here, they left.
Yeah. Shout out to Vikings. Those are my people.
Respectful.
Yeah.
They've never done anything bad.
No, they're good visitors. Left a great review on Yelp.
Should we disavow
Bounce.
Christopher Columbus?
I don't think that Christopher Columbus is that hot in the streets anymore. I don't think that there are people out there like his public image has really, if you're buying stock,
Taking a nosedive.
he probably was at an all-time high in 1980,
Really?
I would say. And now, yeah, that was his Dogecoin moment when he was up real high. He's dropped probably about like 75% of his value since then.
More than that.
I still learned the song though
In 1400, it's a banger.
in
Yeah.
like 2005.
In 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
Yeah.
The Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. Santa Maria. Yeah, the song is really keeping them alive.
That's what they say, and you're thinking of what's the Lonely Island song where they say that?
Oh,
they say
that's Step Brothers.
That's Step Brothers.
Oh, whatever.
Boats and Hoes.
Boats and Hoes.
Yeah, but I think they say Santa Marina, right? Like they say it wrong.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah, so normal people do have today off, which is good for them. So they're around to watch the baseball game. It's also marathon day, right, Coley?
That's right. Getting Red Sox playoff baseball on a marathon Monday, which has literally never happened since it's typically in April.
Oh, that's right. So yeah, why did they switch it to October?
Well, luckily we've cured COVID, so they just pushed it back so we could be out of COVID. So brilliant. They had so many people running it. They had people running it yesterday, which they had no shot at winning if they told you to run the day before.
Yeah, it's like a Friday wedding. No offense to anybody who's at a Friday wedding.
So I was actually usually we play the marathon baseball game at like 10, 11 in the morning, so it can get out as people are crossing the finish line. You can kind of watch that. So I'm a little upset that I think the game's at 7 tonight. I'm sure Big T, is that right? I never know times of games anymore.
Yeah, it's the night game, whatever time that starts.
7:07.
Something like that. Yeah.
7:07. So I'm kind of, it's throwing me off my marathon like feeling. It doesn't feel normal. But yeah, it's a big day in Boston.
Arian, I got a question for you. Do you think right now, you're a professional athlete, allegedly, do you think that you could step outside and run a marathon?
No, hell no.
No training? Billy did it.
Yeah.
This nigga's like 20 something.
That's true.
22.
Like at 20? Hell yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like now? Nah, bro. I got to train for that.
How far do you think you could run right now?
I could do it. I would just have to pace myself. It's nothing like, when you say run a marathon, do you just mean complete it?
Complete it without walking.
Yeah, I could probably do that. But like with any kind of like efficiency? Nah.
You could probably go like 12 miles per hour, or what is it, 12, not 12 miles an hour, a 12-minute mile.
So there's like, So there's something we used to call, boxers call it. I think they call it road work, where you just do this like light little jog. You just get into this light little. I could do that all day if I needed to. It's something that it was kind of like so when you like finished your like workout on a track, you would get into that road work and you would just kind of like it would be a cool down. It would be a cool down. It's just like a light low pace that it will never be hard. It's just annoying.
I never really understood people that run for fun. There's nothing fun about running ever.
I hate it. I'm a running back and I fucking hate running.
It's your job description.
Fucking hated it, bro.
Yeah. Getting tired sucks. Why would you ever want to do that to yourself on purpose? Then your legs hurt. Then you wake up the next morning, your feet hurt. And the only way to get rid of some of the soreness is to do it again so that you feel less sore the next time. It's a big fucking joke.
The endorphins, though.
You do get runner's high, allegedly, but
but just like the workout high.
It's true. That's true. I've never experienced runner's high, but I do. There have been times, sometimes if I'm running like 4 or 5 miles, where at some point I get tunnel vision and I just focus on something, like if I'm on a treadmill way off in the distance, and then I feel like I'm just like hypnotized. Maybe I'm describing. Sounds like I'm describing runner's high.
Yeah.
I was hoping I would like get the munchies, or there would be like hallucinate. You know, I was comparing it to some other stuff that I've done in the past, but it's not, maybe I have gotten high. It's still not worth the squeeze.
It's also what basketball players call like, or not just basketball, like this is what you call your second wind, when you're like hella tired and all of a sudden you hit this state when you're tired where it's like, oh, I can go way longer. It's same kind of concept.
Did you ever play in Denver?
Yes.
That's real. The altitude is a real thing.
So I grew up in Albuquerque, New Mexico as a child, and Albuquerque is actually higher than Denver, altitude-wise.
That's a fun fact.
Yeah, it is a fun fact. And so for years, like after I moved out of Albuquerque, like my lungs I've always been like, it was a joke, because I'm running a joke on all my teams that I could just run forever. And I think a lot of it had to do with one, my brother had really long legs when he was growing up, and he used to like running long distance, and I was just like little bro trying to do what he did, and so I used to run with him, and I was shit at it, but he like made me do it and like taught me how to do it, and so when I left, I could just run for days, and it felt way easier. And so when I went back to play to Denver, I don't know the science behind like the muscle memory, if there's muscle memory in lungs, but I didn't feel the effect of it like everybody else did. Like they even have signs, like when you go to the Denver stadium, they have signs in the opposing locker room that says like, this is a real thing, like the altitude, like if people pass out and stuff like that. But like I didn't feel any effect of it. That's what I grew up in, and it didn't do anything. Like when I was growing up, my dad used to tell us, and this is true, like Kenyan, you know them Kenyan runners?
Yeah.
A lot of them used to train in Albuquerque. I don't know if it's folklore, but here's what he used to tell us. But they said they used to train in Albuquerque because it was like one of the highest places to train.
Damn, I didn't know that about Albuquerque. So when I have kids, I want to raise them in Albuquerque if I want them to be excellent athletes.
No, I don't think you would go that far.
I would.
They be good chain smokers for sure.
That's what they say about the Gurkhas, the Nepalese fighters.
Yeah.
In the British Empire, they used to have a special forces made up of Gurkhas who had the same things. As they grew up in the Himalayas, they had way better stamina than any of the other people.
Yeah. No, that's a legit thing because there are people that make their living on the mountains in the Himalayas, acting as tour guides, or not tour guides, but like mountain guides, the Sherpas.
Yeah.
And the Sherpas, they, through, years and years and years of evolution, their parents had to be able to survive at high altitudes. And so their parents had to be able to survive at high altitudes. So through the course of natural selection, the kids that are born in Nepal in certain areas just have the ability to maximize oxygen usage.
But I feel like it's honestly not nature but nurture. Like growing up, you built, since you have to have that air capacity, it's like built up.
Oh, I think it's both. I definitely think it's both because, all right, Billy, transport yourself back like 500 years, right, before any sort of modern medicine.
Right.
You're growing up in Nepal. At your school, in your class, there are 100 kids, right? Because you're in such harsh conditions that are higher than most human beings will ever live, you're going to have a certain percentage of those kids that won't make it to adulthood
right.
because they get a disease that's exacerbated by the altitude and can't circulate blood as well as some of their other peers. So then the ones that do make it to adulthood and have kids, they pass on their more efficient genes.
Right. Evolution.
I
know how it works.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So it is, I think it's both nature and nurture because you can take somebody and have them train at altitude and get some benefits from it.
Fucking mansplained it to Billy. Billy knows.
But Billy literally just said it's.
I'm just saying I think that it's not only just genetic. Like you could take anybody, raise them in Albuquerque, and they'll have better lungs than people who are raised on the beach, sea level.
Yes. Agreed. That's why I want to take my children to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and force them to get good at breathing.
Perfect.
The best thing about Albuquerque is what so maybe Big T, did you grow up in a small town?
I mean like a regular sized suburb. I mean not a big city, but yeah, like a.
And maybe this is a small town thing. I don't know if this is like just Albuquerque or just like small town living in general. But it's the biggest city in the state, but it's a small town comparatively to like other big cities. Growing up in Albuquerque, it might have been my neighborhood too, but I was like, but it was just it was everywhere. I remember like the white kids across in north. It was just everywhere. Drugs were so prevalent, right? And so this is why I loved Albuquerque, right? Drugs were so prevalent in that city, like, and I think it was because I don't know why, but I don't want to speculate. But drugs were so prevalent in that city that as a very young kid, I was introduced to a lot of drugs. Like a lot of drugs. Like I saw it everywhere. And by the time I got to another city, like it was already normal to me. And I understand how that could sound horrible, but like it was already normal to me. Like I already done and experienced and seen like pretty much everything, like drug wise. But like in bigger cities, like when I went to high school, like I was at college. I mean, I had seen and done everything, so it wasn't like new to me, and so I was appreciative of the experience that I had as a young kid. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think that was just
that was just you.
Yeah, it was just. I think it was just the neighborhood. Yeah, I think it was just the neighborhood. Now that I'm thinking about it, I never really. But I think No, I do, but I don't, because it was more prevalent there than other cities. Like, it was very prevalent, like everywhere. Like, maybe.
What type of drugs are we talking about? Because like smoking weed is.
Nah, there's no one smoking. I'm talking about like drugs. Like, so like I did mushrooms when I was 12. Like I was 12 and I was tripping on shrooms. I did. I seen coke. I seen crack. I haven't done coke or crack. I was afraid I was gonna die, but I seen that shit as like a young kid, like really young. And I know in different neighborhoods and different areas, drugs are very prevalent, but it was like that everywhere. Like I'm talking about the rich folks, the middle class folks, where we was. It was just drugs were very prevalent, and I'm unsure. I have a feeling that it was the city, that it's not just, or maybe it's everywhere. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Crack's one of those drugs that I'm always confused how people get hooked on it, because if you look at people that smoke crack habitually, there's nothing about like that lifestyle that should appeal to anybody. But I guess it must be awesome. It must be like a great, wonderful feeling, at least your first time that you do it, or your second time.
So I had a buddy who used to sell it, and so he was explaining to me what people would say about it, and it was like, it's like the best feeling that you could ever feel. And the reason why I know that it's probably that is morphine is like heroin. Similar, very similar. I think it's just a low dosage. And when I had a surgery, I think I talked about this before, but when I had a surgery and they give you a little drip because it's hurting so much, so you hit it and it gives you more morphine. It is unreal, like how delicious that feels. And heroin is like way more potent than that. So if heroin feels like that, I assume crack it just makes you feel like you're on top of the world. Nothing can harm you, or just everything feels so good. So I understand why it gets to that extent, but I couldn't do it just because you said like the detriment of it.
So nationally, this was from 3 years ago, Albuquerque Business, the Business Journal Network, Albuquerque specific. New Mexico is number 6 out of 50 states plus DC for drug use. New Mexico, this is just statewide. New Mexico ranked 3rd for highest percentage of teenage drug users, so Arian, and
makes sense.
14 for highest percent of adult users.
Which makes sense. Because I grew up in Albuquerque, went to high school in San Diego, and when I went to San Diego, it was almost like my first thought was like, everybody kind of prude here, like everybody smokes and drinks, like some people smoke, some people drink, but it was kind of like, y'all don't really do this shit. Like, because how I grew, I just remember vividly how prevalent it was. I used to roll weed in class, though. That's how bad it was. We used to go in middle school. We used to go to what we call the barracks, the bathrooms, and we used to smoke weed in middle school, and that's. Like thinking about it now, I have a child in middle school, and thinking about her going to a bathroom and smoking weed is fucking bananas. But it was so prevalent there that it was normal, and it didn't seem out of pocket to me. But that's how prevalent it was, and I have that feel. I think it's very extremely anecdotal, but this is how it feels.
I think maybe a lot of states or cities that are landlocked that don't have a whole lot to do, that probably contributes to it too. And not a knock against Albuquerque. I'm not saying that it's a trash city. I'm saying that like compared to San Diego, you can like it's maybe one of the most beautiful cities in the United States.
Yeah. In
terms of you got beaches, great weather, always stuff to do outside.
PFT, are you saying that the solution is the ocean?
I'm saying the solution is global warming. Make everywhere a little bit nicer, and then drug use will go down. So everyone go outside. Mix in next time you roll up a joint, sprinkle a little styrofoam into it. And then burn that so we get rid of some of this ozone layer that's been so pesky for us.
But coastal towns have just as much drug use.
Is that true?
Yeah, like think about, like I know there's a huge, at least in my, like for example, I heard there's a ton of drugs on like Nantucket and Cape Cod amongst people who live there year round.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also forgot about Florida.
Yeah.
Hand up.
Like the ocean?
You could have just, that disproves my entire thesis.
It wasn't really the rest of California. Like, you didn't have to go far from San Diego. Like, there's plenty of shit in California.
I mean, the most coastal state in the entire United States, Alaska, that's a place that has some drug issues for sure. You ever try to go out on a crab boat without using meth? No, thank you.
Yeah. And was it Breaking Bad, New Mexico?
That was Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. So ghosts. So I think, Billy, did you get to 4 facts about ghosts?
Yeah.
So what's your
bad.
5th?
My 5th is that, some people think they can communicate with ghosts. They're called mediums.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between a medium and a psychic?
Mediums are the medium in which, like, the word medium, like the medium of the mode of transportation. The medium is like the mode of.
You just used the word mode
communicating.
because it was a math term that sounded like median.
Which
sounds like mean. Yeah.
Between the dead and the living.
All right.
So the mode of transportation, the medium of transportation between is the mode.
Man.
Okay. Billy, tell you what, I retract my accusation that
lot
you
about
did not
ghosts.
study up on ghosts.
Boom,
because
motherfucker.
Sounds like you're an expert. Let's go around the room. I want to know if everybody, what your stance is on ghosts. First of all, if you believe them in ghosts or not. So Mad Dog, do you believe in ghosts?
I don't know if I believe in ghosts. I believe in like spirits coming back. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if they like the term ghosts, but I believe that people who have passed on can come back to us.
So yes, she believes in ghosts. Yeah.
Did you say that they don't like the term ghost?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't talked to one.
She believes in ghosts, but
Not
she
the
doesn't know if the
G-word.
ghosts like to be called ghosts.
Yeah.
You just
The hard G.
PC spirits.
I don't believe in them, but if they did exist, they wouldn't appreciate us.
I think dead people can communicate with us, but I don't.
Ghosts
think
can
it's in, like,
say ghosts, but we're not.
I'm not allowed to say that.
Honestly, just gonna put it out there, ghosts. If any of you are ghosts, it's cool to show your presence at some point throughout the show.
If a
You're
ghost
totally
is
fine.
if a G word is present with us right now, you can flicker the lights and know that we'll listen. But yeah, I think.
So yes, Mad Dog very clearly believes in
Yeah.
ghosts. Avery, do you believe in ghosts?
And fears them. Fears them tremendously.
Yeah, I do believe in ghosts. I think they're real. Absolutely. I don't know if I can call them ghosts anymore, but yeah, I believe in them.
Yeah. Arian,
No, man. Nah.
Coley.
I'm open.
Arian, I'm just predicting something's gonna happen in the background of your screen, and we're all gonna be like, you're gonna be the non-believer, and then someone's gonna find it in the YouTube and be like, that's a ghost right behind you, Arian.
Imagine like being a ghost or a spirit, and like there's no ghost shit to do. Like you just fuck with living people. Your whole existence is to fuck with people.
Have you ever seen Impractical Jokers?
No.
It's basically what they do.
Sounds stupid. Like if that's what happens when we die, bro, just fucking keep me dead. Like I don't want to fuck with people. Why don't you help people? Why don't you like? There's no ghost like help a nigga win a lottery or some shit. You know what I mean? Like fuck out of it. Like I don't know.
Well, how do they see the future now? Or are you saying like
I don't know. These niggas
machine?
can go through walls. These niggas can. There's all kind of shit they can do. I don't know. I don't know the ghost rules, bro. All I'm saying is I don't believe it, and they always show up at night. Them niggas take the day off every day.
It's also some sick stuff. If you're a ghost and you can see everything that your ancestors are doing all the time, that's gross.
Exactly. And then what does it stop, right? Like say I'm naked. Like are they watching that?
Do they have to watch it? Can they go somewhere else?
Do they give me privacy? Can they go somewhere else? If they do, what if there's like disgusting ghosts, right? Niggas that was perverts in their real
Italian
life, and now
ghosts.
they just go around and fucking stalk women and just beat off to their ghost meets. I don't know. That shit the whole concept don't make no
Ghost
sense.
come? Yeah.
Yeah. Coley, what about you?
I do believe in ghosts, but not in like the traditional sense of like pretty much everything Arian just said, like terror, like Scooby-Doo hijinks and like terrorizing high schoolers and stuff like that. Like I just feel like you can leave energy behind. Like when you die, that shit escapes you. And I think where terrible things have happened, there's probably some really bad. It's like a dumbed down way to think of karma in a sense, like where we talk about, like, not we specifically, but people reference like building shit on Indian burial grounds, which was the plot to a lot of movies in the 90s and early 2000s, I think. And it's like, yeah, some really bad things happened here. Like a lot of people were slaughtered. Like it probably has some bad energy hovering around it. So yeah, I believe in it in that sense. Like, I don't know why anyone like would be afraid of the traditional ghost. You know, they can't do anything.
Mm-hmm. Billy, what about you?
So there's a certain amount of electricity in our body. You know what I'm saying? That like tells our muscles to move and contract, like the same, like when you hook up a stim machine to yourself, like the electricity goes through your muscles. So that like electricity is kind of what makes us alive. And when you die, that electricity sort of just dissipates out of your body. And I think that's sort of maybe the basis of like what a soul is, or, you know, what we can't explain can be explained by the supernatural or religious. So if you were to tell me that when someone died, that electricity left their body and was just, you know, tracking around, like hitting circuits or whatnot, and that was sort of a presence or a power, yeah, I would believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's what a ghost is, then so be it.
Yeah. All right, Big T.
I think my answer kind of falls in line with Coley. Like, I do believe we have souls, and I do believe there's an afterlife, but I don't, in the framework that we're discussing, the G words, I don't think those really exist.
Yeah, I don't believe in hauntings necessarily. I don't think that ghosts have, like, self-realization. I don't think that after you die that your spirit gives you, like, a second life that's immortal, that you can go around and, like, you have, you know, a conscience, that you have cognitive abilities and you get to choose what you do. I don't believe in that, but I do believe, like what Billy said, your heart, when your heart beats, that's just electricity turning positive cells into negative cells and vice versa. It's electricity that goes through and it makes your heart contract. And that's why, you know, you get a pacemaker put in if you lose the sinus rhythm. They put something like that in to just keep that heart beating. There's electricity that goes throughout your body that keeps you alive. That's a big part of life. And we're big science guys on this podcast. I think somebody smart one time said that matter isn't created or destroyed, right? Conservation of mass. I remember that one from school. So the electricity has to go somewhere. It has to exist somewhere on the earth. I don't know if that's what a soul is, but it's probably as close an explanation as you can get. And it's going to go somewhere. And if you have a really, you know, fucked up heart or something like that, and your body's not producing electricity correctly, when that electricity escapes, maybe it's fucked up when it goes into whatever channel it ends up in, and maybe weird things happen. I don't know, but I'm not discounting the possibility of your body being able to affect things on Earth after you die. But I don't think from like a cognitive perspective of like, okay, I'm gonna live in this dude's attic for 50 years in a bed and breakfast, and anytime someone comes in who's bad, I'm gonna tip their candle over.
Really quickly on the mass, talking about mass is not created or destroyed. There was an experiment called the 21 grams experiment. Now, it was in 1907 by Duncan McDougall, who's a physician from Haverhill, Massachusetts, and basically he hypothesized that souls had a physical weight. So he took a bunch of people on, who not on death row, but who were in hospice care and about to die, and he weighed them before they were about to die and after they died, and on average he found that they all lost 21 grams of weight.
That's the last doctor that you want to see come into the room.
Yeah.
You're like, oh fuck. The guy that's conducting an experiment to see where my soul went. Yeah, probably time to get my affairs in order at this point.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, but that experiment has been debunked.
Yeah, 100 times.
Like, yeah, but the reason why I'm out on the soul thing is because it's not the essence of it, like, makes sense, right? Because we all feel like we're more than what we actually are. Like, we feel like we're more than this chemistry. But there's been a whole bunch of instances, right, where people like have brain injuries and their personalities change, their accent changes, or they lose the fact that there's memory loss, right? If your soul is what it is, that should remain intact, but it's something else besides it, which I believe is just the brain. I want there to be a soul, but I don't see any evidence to the contrary. I just don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me how you can have like split personalities or anything. It maybe, like I said, there's shit that we don't know, and that's cool too. But I just don't see it. The fact that I wasn't conscious we know the universe. Close your ears, Big T. We know the universe to be 13.8 billion years old, right? I was not conscious for any of that shit. I don't remember any of that shit. I was born in 1986, and all of a sudden, I was born in the projects, and here I am. And when I die, I don't. It's probably gonna be that. I hope it's not, because I enjoy existing and shit, but I just don't see how a soul comes into play, and our memory just is so tied to our brain chemistry. And I sound hella like it's dreary thinking about that shit, but I would love for there to be something else, but I just don't see it.
But hypothetically, what if, because your soul is trapped in a vessel currently, that your soul can't divulge all the information it knows, and that comes when you die or before you're born, and that's your limit, your bodily limit of being on Earth is the reason why you can't experience that prior or post,
because your
knowledge.
soul won't snitch.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's definitely possibilities. Like I said, we've discussed ayahuasca and psychedelics in this podcast plenty of times, where I feel like something happens after death, but I just don't think it's probable. It's just what I feel. Sure, like we could have like this encapsulating vessel where it keeps our past memory in whatever, I don't know, but it's not very probable. Like the probability of that being the case is just not convincing enough for me to live my life like there is a soul.
So I think that you do live on after you die, but in a different way. So check it out. This is kind of how I feel about the afterlife. The things that you do on a day-to-day basis, the people that you meet, the interactions that you have, and the memories that you make with other people will continue to have an effect on their lives after you're dead. Those people will be slightly changed in some way, good or bad, from whatever that experience was. The world will be slightly changed, good or bad, from whatever you do while you're on it. Those decisions and those things that you do, those actions that you take, and the memories you make with other people while you're alive, those have an effect for those people moving forward after you're gone. The world continues to change because the trajectory that you've sent it on through your day-to-day life, and those changes are a manifestation of the things that you did while you were alive, which means that your impact keeps continuing on the earth after you die, but in more of like a philosophical way, not like a metaphysical way where you're floating around wearing a sheet. So that you could make the argument that that's how a ghost interacts with the world. A dead person still having an effect on the world because of what they did that day. Like Einstein, we talk about him a lot on this show. Einstein is still like very much alive in a way. All the different experiments that are happening right now, when you look at like the Large Hadron Collider and the advancing of technology and space travel, all that shit. GPS, yeah. Good luck driving across the country without using GPS, without using a small part of Albert Einstein's brain that's kind of carried on and passed through different mediums, Billy, and different ways that people are using the technology that he kind of invented or had a hand in inventing. So yeah, things, you continue to impact the world after you die. That is a great example, and I think a real example that we could probably all agree on, of your spirit that lives on after you're dead.
It's interesting though. The one of the things, like I'm not a huge fan of Jordan Peterson, but there's some of the shit that he says that I enjoy. And when he's dealing with psychology and stuff like that, I think he really be on his shit. One of the things that he was saying was the reason why religion is so, and I'm gonna butcher what he said, but basically what he was saying was like the reason why religion is so important is because the stories passed down from generation to generation are interwoven with our culture, and that kind of makes us who we are, which is extremely powerful. And ghosts are a part of that. Like having the dead be alive in our lives is a part of that. And so there is something to say about how prevalent the presence of our fallen ancestors are. That's like an extremely powerful notion.
Yep. Day of the Dead is a Mexican holiday. This, I guess, it's going to be on the 1st and 2nd of November. I'm not sure if it's a floating holiday. I think it might always be on
Every
the 1st
year.
and 2nd
Mm-hmm.
every year. And was it Chaps that was talking to us about Day of the Dead?
I believe so.
It might have been, and how they.
What's it called? Dios de los Muertos?
Dia de los Muertos. Yeah.
There you go. Fucking Coco, bro. It's one of the dopest kids movies of all time as well, bro.
Yeah.
Coco.
So your family gathers around. They have an altar to dead people that were in your family that passed away, and then you have a great time celebrating their life. And I think it's a very healthy way to interact with. We take death and we turn it into a very sad thing and a somber thing, which I think is the reason why we construct all these ghosts sometimes, because it's so sad that there must be something spooky that happens afterwards. But the way that they celebrate in Mexico is more of a joyous thing and an excuse to celebrate the people that were around, so you don't stop thinking about them. And a lot of times in America, I think you're trained to not think about people who have died because it makes you sad and you don't want to get into all those emotions. But thinking about them in a positive way, eventually you think of someone who's passed away and you smile before you get sad when you think about that person. And it's a very healthy way, I think, to remember them. I'm a big fan of we should do a Dia de los Muertos podcast on November 1st. I think we should be a Dia de los Muertos podcast instead of a Halloween podcast. That's what I think.
Down.
What about an All Saints Day?
What's
podcast?
All Saints Day?
It's the day after. Well,
It's November 1st.
it's November 1st.
Because Halloween was like the night before that. It was like a interwoven.
What do they do on All Saints Day?
I don't know.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm in.
All
What are we
Saints-
being for Halloween?
Ooh, can we have like an all podcast costume? Why not?
What?
You can have y'all.
Oh. Can we all dress up as Big T?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think
Let's
it might.
all wear Tennessee gear.
Wait, hold on. Big T, you don't want to dress up, bro?
No. Where are we gonna go?
Here, the office.
Go to here, nigga. What?
We
What?
dress up for work every year regardless. So I don't know where you think you get this idea where you're coming in as yourself.
I'm just asking, why are you so
I don't-
fucking cool, bro? You don't want to dress up?
I haven't dressed up for Halloween in Lord knows how many years.
Why are you so
Is that
cool,
when
bro?
your child died? Like the child inside you died?
Mhm.
Yeah, you
That's what it
sounds like.
you
But,
young
like-
as hell. You in your 20s. You supposed to still be about this shit. I'm still about this shit. Last year, I dressed up as Mario. And only 3 kids came to me. I got hella fucking drunk. Just dressed up as Mario. And I was waiting. I had a whole like a bowl full of candy for like the kids. And that might be a thing too. Kids don't really go trick or treating like that anymore. At least in my neighborhood.
Well, the whole lie about the razor blades inside the apples really spooked an entire generation of parents. People are just freaked out that people are gonna like drug their kids on Halloween.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, the edibles thing. It's the funniest thing that you saw that news story. They're like, watch out, people might be giving out these spiked candies with
These $30.
marijuana. Yeah.
You don't get the fuck out of here with this propaganda every year. It's the biggest bullshit. That story. It's never happened. Not even by no one who has edibles is just like, you know what? I'm gonna give these away for. They're too fucking expensive for that. Get out of here.
There was one story about like a 5 or 6 year old, I think it was a boy, that found his parents' gummies, and they were in a package that looked like candies, and he ate like, I don't know, 15 of them, and so they took him to the hospital, and they're like, okay, what do you want us to do at the hospital?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, your son is very chill right now. He might. We're keeping an eye on him. He might even become stoked soon. So we're checking out the vital signs. We're gonna put on SpongeBob for 7 hours, and he'll have a great time.
What is the weirdest shit y'all got in when you was trick or treating? I'll go first. One time, this nigga, we used to do pillowcases.
Oh, yeah.
We used to fill them shits up.
Trash bags.
But like one time, this dude literally had a bowl full of candy corns, open bag, just candy corns, and just stuck his hand in it and then dropped it in our bag. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not eating that shit.
I feel this is very important. What does everybody think about candy corn?
I'm fine with it.
I like candy corn.
I'm fine with
I'm
it.
cool without strangers touching it. Like,
Yeah, I like it, and everybody seems to hate it. I think it's
Gross.
I think it's disgusting.
for
Wood.
for
What a
1
Chad. What
month
do they
out
call
of the
him,
year.
Chad? That's some Chad
It's
shit.
good.
It's just sugar. It's
Yeah.
not gross. I don't like.
They put a twang on it. It's
Yeah,
not
it's
just,
not just sugar. It's like it's something. It's kind of waxy.
It's waxy.
Yeah,
think
it's waxy.
no
I
problem.
think it fits the Halloween aesthetic, the autumn aesthetic, perfectly. It
Yes.
is. I keep a bowl out because I think it's just like a nice decoration. eaten it. Like there's so many. We've done sugar too many perfect ways to be settling for candy corn.
I think it's fine. It's nothing I would ever like go out and seek to eat, but I'll have like a pack of candy corn every year.
I like the pumpkin candy corns.
Yeah.
Or when instead of the yellow, it's chocolate flavor. I like those better.
Pumpkins are real good.
Mm-hmm.
I like those. Yeah.
Reese's Pieces. That's the all-time.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's my shit, bro.
I
don't eat candy anymore, but that shit every now and then I'll taste one and regret it immediately after.
I had a neighbor who was a dentist, and he was big on handing out the toothbrush at Halloween.
Oh yeah.
Which, if you're a dentist, that's just bad business.
Square.
You want
terrible business.
You want these kids to have their teeth rotting out of their skulls by the time they're 10. That's cash. that's just money.
Who does he think he is carrying?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys ever have to do the UNICEF boxes?
Yeah, I did that.
They hand you out in school these UNICEF boxes and have you like begging for change from the people who are giving you candy for charity.
Begging for change.
Yeah, but like looking back on it, just like having a bunch of kids being like, "Do you want to give us change for UNICEF?"
Yeah,
that had to be
socialism. That's the new world order right there. That's globalist. If you send a kid door to door collecting money for UNICEF right now, which is, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, United Nations Infant Children Emergency Fund, something like that.
Yeah.
The money goes to helping kids that don't have enough food to eat overseas. And if you sent people door to door with those, you would absolutely get some people being like, the deep state has activated the globalist children right now.
I'm surprised that hasn't been politicized yet.
I'm sure it has.
That UNICEF box thing.
I'm sure it has.
I know, but that was just like such like a part of my childhood that I just brought back up in my brain right now, and I was like, surprised no one's like tweeted about that.
Yeah, what if some of that money goes overseas and helps the next baby Hitler recover from dysentery?
What is this
Then
UNICEF
what?
shit? I'm out the loop. What is UNICEF boxes?
Do they not do this anymore?
It's the
I didn't do it.
The UN Children's Fund. They sometimes pass out these cardboard boxes that the kids carry around on Halloween, and you go door to door, and then if somebody has loose change around their house, they put it in the box, and then you send the boxes in, usually through your school, and then they send that money over to the United Nations and distribute that overseas.
I've never heard of that.
I think it might be a public school thing.
Yeah.
I think they picked which public school.
I know, but I mean like in I think it's a very new thing.
Is it an East Coast thing?
But hold on,
I didn't do it.
PFT said you did it, right?
I did it, yeah.
That's not that new.
But I didn't do it in the Midwest.
No, you're right. Yeah, I think it was probably 1992, 1994.
Yeah, I did in like early 2000s.
It was a thing. Yeah, and you probably have to like select which neighborhoods you're going to. You don't want to go to like a very poor neighborhood and be like, "Hey, can I have some of your money?"
Yeah.
I appreciate the candy, but can you also pay me?
Yeah, this is a stick up. Yeah. So Halloween, fun times. Yeah, we'll get dressed up this Halloween. Arian, I also want you to send a picture of yourself dressed up as Mario.
I would do that. I'll do you one better. I actually, because I was hella faded, I actually played the piano while I was dressed up as Mario, and I had the gloves on and everything. It was hard to do, but I did it.
Hell yeah.
It was fire. I got you. I'll send it to the group chat.
Did you say that not that many kids came to your door?
No, there was like 3, dog, and I had a bag for them. I was handing them out like we giving it to Tennessee players, dog. I was gonna make it rain.
Yeah, I feel like the rich neighborhood is where to go trick or treating.
It is, but they don't ever do it. Them niggas don't come. I was so disappointed. I was gonna have a plan in my head. I was gonna dress up as a Mario brother. I was gonna be in character. I was gonna do this. It was gonna be great, dog. Them niggas did not show up. I was like, it's whack.
Was this just last year or historically?
The last year, because usually I was out of town or something like that, but this last year I had time and they didn't.
I also feel like this last year, Coley's probably getting to this right now.
Coco.
Not great in terms of volume of trick or treaters. Not a great time to go to strangers' houses.
It was before. It was pre-COVID.
Coley, didn't you go you got dressed up as, was it Wario?
Yeah, I was Wario.
It was Mario.
Mine was based off of Mario Kart. So I don't know if their hatred seems to be a little bit more leveled there than in the rest of the video game lore. But yeah, I mean, Wario's just so funny to me. It's just this little fat guy angry about everything. His attack move in Super Smash Bros. Is to fart you off the screen. Like, what a character.
I love the idea, like, stay away from that house. There's a drunk Mario running around in front of the house.
I would love to see Big T get dressed up as Toad. I think you'd make a great.
You would make a good Toad, bro. Toad is amazing. Big T, we gotta get into this. Why are you so anti dressing up for Halloween, bro?
It's just not my vibe. No. I mean, I loved Halloween as a kid. Like, it's just I'm 24.
I will say I don't like Halloween.
You saying that to a 35-year-old man?
But you have kids, though. That's different.
Yeah, I feel
I was like this before the kids.
Has nothing to do with
like
it.
I feel like once I have kids, like maybe I would dress up and go trick or treating with them or something.
This is obscene.
Where am I gonna go to get dressed up? Like
a bar?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Bro, I didn't go anywhere. I got drunk in my house and I was Mario to myself, dog. Kids didn't even show
I
up.
respect the hell out of that. I love it. That's a great time.
Talk about it.
I just don't understand.
I love that you had a great time doing that.
Nigga, just be fun. I don't like. Why are you so?
If we all dress up as something, I will consider it. But it's got to be like a whole group thing.
What day of the week is Halloween on?
A Sunday.
Sunday.
But we could do it. We could do it November 1st and then dress up for recording.
Okay.
I think that would be fun.
I'd be down for that. Big T, you get dressed up every day in a costume. Your costume just happens to be either all Tennessee Volunteers gear.
That's not a costume. That's a lifestyle.
Or all Atlanta Braves gear. You live your life in a costume.
Game 3. I mean, this isn't a costume. This is my life.
Big T, you should get dressed up as a Georgia fan, as a joke for Halloween.
No, I would never do that.
As a joke.
You literally couldn't pay me to do that.
$100.
Nope.
I'm sure we could pay you.
What's your price?
I'm positive we could.
It's Tyler Barron money at a minimum.
I mean, that's so much lower than I was anticipating.
Well, that's a floor. I mean,
nah,
you guys don't even play on Halloween weekend.
Yeah, we're off. We got to get ready for Kentucky.
That's your bye week.
I did see that scroll across my timeline yesterday. Kentucky is like 5-0 or 4-0.
6-0. They're pretty good.
6-0. Holy shit!
They're playing Georgia this week, though. They're going to get smacked.
We'll see.
Big Ten.
They have the best defense of all time, allegedly.
It really. You should watch Georgia play this week.
I'm going to. I mean,
you really should.
The defenses I have running through my head right now.
It's like
Florida State, like 99, like that kind of shit.
Miami.
Miami, like, come on, bro.
That 2012 Alabama defense is probably right there with them, and then some of those you mentioned. But this defense is legitimately.
Some of these college teams have like 3 or 4 Hall of Famers on that team.
The Miami one is that's the Ed Reed and all them.
I think they had Ed Reed, Sean Taylor, Jonathan Vilma, and maybe Vince Wilfork all on the same team.
But I think the numbers that this Georgia defense they're putting up is right there with any of those. They're scary.
I feel like
I'm gonna check for them.
You should watch them.
You make me want to watch. You make me want to watch Georgia. Who they play this week?
Kentucky. And watch Jordan Davis. I think he's like 94. He's a monster.
Got you. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna watch Kentucky and Georgia this Saturday.
Billy,
I had a feeling that
I'm dressed up like Mario
and then watch UT at night.
Like
you know what I did? Hold on, I'm gonna let you cook, Billy. Hold on. You know what else I did, Big T? Have you ever been to Buc-ee's? It's
a dream of mine to go to Buc-ee's. My parents just went. There's one in Georgia now, and they were going to Florida, and they stopped there. It's a dream of mine. I've wanted to go for so long.
So for those that don't know, Buc-ee's is like the creme de la creme of gas stations. It's so fucking clean in there. The food is delicious.
It's massive.
So big. It's just a great experience. Buc-ee's is fire, bro. Like it's the only place I will take a public boo-boo in.
But it's not, and the shit they have in there is they have delicious barbecue, from what I understand. And
it's unreal. The barbecue is amazing.
Yeah.
It's everything is just top notch. Like I said, it's the only place I will take a public boo-boo in. So I went to Buc-ee's, and they had this full onesie beaver suit. I got the beaver suit, man.
Hell yeah. I would dress up as the Buc-ee's beaver. If you can get me a Buc-ee's beaver suit.
I will send you the Buc-ee beaver suit, bro.
If you can get me that, I'll wear it.
Done. All right, Billy, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I think that older college football defenses we think are better because we know how the pros turned out for a lot of the players, so we have name
That's
recognition.
Also fair.
Mm-hmm.
So, modern defenses, we can't sort of compare them almost.
And with the rules the way they are today and the offenses that they're going against, I think it's much tougher to play defense today.
And even now, we the best defense is like the 2012 Alabama defense that was like 8 years ago, and that's why we can only rationalize it.
Yeah.
But it was also a different style of football, right? When you talk about the defenses that we're talking about,
Yeah, 100%.
where it was really you had to like play ball. Like what bothers me about the game nowadays, don't sound like an old head popping off, but like when we was growing up, receivers had to be tough because you had to go across the middle. Now going across the middle is not a fear. It doesn't. Nobody cares about it anymore because defenders are protecting their their playability for the next week, right? It's not a thing anymore. So the way we measure defenses back then is different than we measure it now. Now, like we measure them like with efficiency. How efficient are they? And especially with these spread offenses and stuff. It's just so when you talk about like measuring up to some of those defenses, number wise, you might be right, but like it's just a different brand of ball. And maybe I'm just getting older and that might be it, but
that would explain why you hate fun offense.
Also that year, Johnny Manziel beat Alabama.
If they put up over
he did.
20 points on a real like if they put up over 20 on Alabama, I'll shut up forever.
So let's say Georgia or Alabama, if they scored 3 touchdowns.
I can't speak for Georgia. I haven't seen them yet. After this weekend, when I watch them in my Mario suit, I'm definitely gonna give you a more.
Okay. Georgia's defense way better than Alabama's.
I was gonna say Alabama just gave up what 50.
Alabama isn't a great defense.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that then. Okay, so bet. All right, if they put up 20 against a real defense, what you would consider a real defense, like
Georgia is the best defense they'll play by far.
If they put up 20, I'll shut up.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll shut up.
That's fair.
All right, we got to bet. Arian will shut up. I doubt that. I highly doubt that, Arian. You'll figure out a way to weasel your way out of that one.
Exorcisms.
Ghosts?
Or no ghosts?
Okay, elaborate.
So like
we should categorize them, right? Because like ghosts are demons ghosts.
Well,
spirits.
I think it's one of those things where it's like a ghost can be a demon, but not all, or a demon can be a ghost, but not all ghosts are demons.
Yeah, and then there's poltergeists, which are noisy ghosts. So I think when we think of ghosts in terms of modern culture and movies that are made, we think about a poltergeist, a ghost that's going around being noisy. I think it actually means noisy ghost. Is like the definition of the word. So like a ghost that'll float around a house causing havoc, that's a poltergeist. But I don't think that all ghosts are poltergeists. I think that ghost is just a word that covers any sort of undead spirit that's out there. So when you have an exorcism, that would be a demon. That would actually be not even a poltergeist. That would be like actually Satan possessing someone who's living. So an evil spirit is it an evil spirit of a dead person? Or is it an evil spirit of a devil when you talk about exorcism?
So evil spirits are conjurings of Lucifer that inhabit live bodies. That's confusing.
Yeah, so it's like we were talking earlier about the body being the medium, Billy, right? Mm-hmm. Or the vessel.
Yep.
So if somehow there's an evil spirit that takes your body over and turns you into like a living manifestation of that evil spirit, then the way that we've been told to get rid of that is through an exorcism, right?
So wait, time out real quick. I just got to clarify this. Are these evil spirits autonomous, or do they need a host? Like, is it like Venom?
I think they're autonomous, in my opinion.
Got you,
Billy.
Okay.
I feel like ghosts don't need a body. But
they still exist without a body, but they're more productive if they have a body. They can do more things that we can see if they have a body.
I could sometimes imagine like a ghost just sort of influencing a person,
whispering like into the ear,
like just intrusive thoughts might be ghosts.
Mm-hmm. But to get rid of it, let's talk exorcism. So exorcism also definitely has a religious connotation to it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just how they dealt with mentally ill people back in the day. They just have a priest yell prayers at them,
throw holy water on them.
Yeah,
and then if it burns, that means that it's a demon that's inside, right?
Yeah,
but that's probably just them being mad that they're getting hit with water.
Or literally just someone having a seizure.
Yeah. They have rabies. They're afraid of water.
Leeches didn't work. Let's try this.
Didn't we learn that leeches actually might work for certain things?
For certain things, well, definitely, yeah.
For like infections, like localized infections.
They
the
put
leech on?
maggots in people's wounds to eat the infected flesh.
I don't want that. I never want that.
I think they found that in like the Civil War that putting maggots in people's deep wounds actually helped.
I think at that point it was just whatever is around. Like if somebody dies in like next to an acorn tree, they're like, if you use the top of the acorn to plug the wound, that's good for it. They just like they took what was around them because they didn't really know. We didn't really know shit about medicine until like what 200 years ago, really, 300 years ago.
That's what be killing me about niggas nowadays with like Western medicine is like you know how shit life was before Western medicine, before medicine in general, like modern medicine. Life expectancy was low, my G. Like niggas used to live like 19 years old was old. 20 years old was like old.
Yeah,
I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, me too. Billy, to answer your question, I don't believe in exorcism. I don't think that those work. I think you're right when you say that it was like mentally ill people, and people be like, "Oh, it's a demon inside them. Let's have the priest scream at them." You know.
Also, I was just thinking, like a lot of cultures think that people who have like schizophrenia or hear voices in their heads, depending on your culture's sort of attitude towards it, depends on how people view it. So, for example, like I think it's in India, they think the schizophrenic voices are actually their ancestors talking to them, and usually the voices are kinder and provide better but in like Western medicine in America and Europe, like when people are hearing voices, they think it's like evil.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it's all about like the mindset of your society as a whole. It can sometimes make the voices be more positive.
Yeah.
That's wild. Wow. And what did you say? Where was this?
I'm going to look it up specifically, but basically some people, like some cultures think that there's certain people who, if they start hearing voices, they're like, oh, you're like the soothsayer who can hear your ancestors. Like, that's so cool and positive.
Like Awa from Avatar.
Yeah.
There you go. Although that might be almost just as bad of a way to look at it, because then you have somebody that has like an actual like a psychological problem that you're just like waving away. You're like, oh, you're lucky to have this.
Yeah, I think
it's voices.
No, it's 1,000% not the best scenario, but it's interesting that the psyche of a culture can influence the psychosis of a disease. Like that's wild to think about.
Yeah. I could see that being 100% true. I don't know if it is or not. I'm trusting Billy's in-depth
called
research.
Cultural schizophrenia, in that hallucinatory voices are shaped by local culture. So it depends on the cultural context on voices that determines how the voices express themselves. So like the voices being positive or negative.
Okay.
The work by anthropologists who work on psychiatric illnesses teaches us that these illnesses shift in small but important ways in different social worlds. Psychiatric scientists tend not to look at cultural variation. Someone should, because it's important, and it can teach us something about blah, blah, blah. This is the Stanford write-up on this like phenomenon. So in the United States, the voices are harsher, and in Africa and India, they're more benign.
I wonder if that influences the effect of the disease, because a lot of the times, because a lot of times here, when the shit is associated with schizophrenia is like suicide and people want to kill themselves, and there's voices telling them to kill themselves or other people. Whereas if there's voices, I don't want to make fun of somebody else's mental health, but like there's voices like saying to do positive things. I don't know.
Or just like other thoughts.
Yeah.
They're just like, have a great day today. Like, you're doing fine.
I mean,
have a buddy.
Earlier this episode, you were giving Kobe credit for kind of pushing you. Like, you were like hearing his voice. Like, that was your environmental influence. Your voice was Kobe Bryant. Other people, not as lucky.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, but it's fucked up, but it's funny, but it's true though. Wow, that's so fascinating to me. I would like to read more. Send that to the group, my G.
This is a question of like what happens to you after you die that I really, really wish Yahoo Answers was still around for, because I'm sure that they would have some absolute fire takes on that website. I'm so pissed off that they shut it down. So I had to do the second best, which was just go to Reddit and see what Reddit was saying, what happens to you after you die.
That's a hot take. Yahoo Answers, top tier. Reddit second.
Yahoo Answers was just a ridiculous place.
Bodybuilding forum.
Bodybuilding
would have an amazing.
Billy, can you look that up? Well, I'm going to read some of the Reddit answers to what happens to you after you die, but I would like very much to hear what the bodybuilding forums had to say about it too.
They've had some great discourse on the vaccine.
They have, yeah.
Amazing discourse.
I'm sure. So this actually turned into a pretty viral Reddit thread 6 years ago when people asked other people to share their death experiences. So not even necessarily near-death experiences, but there are a lot of people walking around out there that have actually died and then were brought back to life. You know, your heart can stop temporarily, you can cease all bodily functions temporarily, then you get resuscitated. And so this first person said that their world became soft and foggy, everything faded to black. Next thing I remember opening my eyes and hearing a doctor say, "We got him back." It was a really peaceful feeling more than anything.
That's fire.
Yeah, I'd be...
We got him back.
Yep. This person said, I collapsed at a work meeting in February 2014, had no pulse or cardiac rhythm for about 5 minutes. My last memory was from about an hour prior to the incident. My next memory was from 2 days later when I emerged from a medically induced coma. I regained consciousness, and I regained consciousness a half a day before my brain started recording new memories, so I kept repeating the same 3 questions for hours on end. Eventually, my wife and friends started making up better answers because they hated seeing the fear on my face when they explained what actually happened. So a lot of people are saying like just complete and total amnesia, but there are also some people that have reported dying and they see, you know, what we talk about with the light at the end of the tunnel. They see the world kind of fading. They see light calling to them. They go towards the light, and they have memories of relatives or somebody that they think that they love. Maybe not a person that you recognize, but maybe just like a warm, loving sound saying, "I'll see you later," or "It's not your time yet," and then they come back into reality afterwards. But most people have just reported just complete and total amnesia. Like they go to sleep, but there are no dreams that happen to them after they pass. I don't know if you guys know anyone that's died and came back.
Oh, I actually do.
Yeah? Jesus?
No. He's a family friend who...
also Jesus?
Yeah.
No, I forget what he said. He went to cardiac arrest and was dead for like a couple seconds, like medically. And he said that he sort of like saw... he said he saw like a light, but also saw his own body on the... operating table, and then he gets all weird about it and doesn't say anything else.
Okay.
Sounds like he's hiding something.
So that's the out of body
Hell.
experience. That's another thing that's frequently reported is people that die, and then I remember I read one story about a guy that died from a drug overdose. He was in an ambulance and he remembers seeing his body, seeing the EMTs working on him, gets taken to the hospital. He wakes up a couple days later and he describes vividly the appearance of one of the EMTs that was working on him while he was dead, while his heart was stopped in the ambulance, and that was actually one of the people that was working on him. Now it's a possibility that he was like fading in and out and that he opened his eyes, which he doesn't remember, and he could like describe the person that was working on him at the time. And that's where it came from. But out-of-body experience is a pretty common thing. But then what happens? You just, like, if you have an out-of-body experience, you just continue looking at your body as it's dead, as it's been embalmed, or as it's, as you're cremated. And then where do you have to look? Are you focused on your body? Can you look at other places? Are you floating around in the sky? Because that could be where people started to believe in ghosts. If you have an out-of-body experience and you're just kind of hanging out, looking at the world around you. And then, people get the feeling that maybe that's what happens for the rest of your existence after you're dead, is you're able to see stuff. Billy, are you looking at the bodybuilding forums right now? What do we have?
This guy's telling a story about how he failed a bench press max alone, and the bar was over his neck, and a guardian angel ghost helped lift the bar off him.
All right, this is the shit that I wanted from the bodybuilding sport.
But
Yes. All right, I'm in. So as long as if you're working out and you pass out, then you have like you have a spotter.
ghost spotter.
Yeah.
And he was like, he thinks it may have been a hallucination because the bar was choking him out, but he swears that someone lifted the bar off him to help him.
Yeah, they probably did. Someone.
Your bro.
Like a person.
No, but he was alone. Yeah.
I have a question. If, let's say, you're guaranteed you're going to be dead for 5 minutes, but I guarantee that you're coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather see heaven or hell?
Hell. What? Good question.
I mean, you said that like so matter-of-factly. I don't
think that's that easy. I think that's a pretty interesting...
I'm confused as to why you would want to see the good place. Why would that be the option?
Make you happy.
And you're like hopefully working towards something.
But I'm coming back.
Yeah, that's the heroin argument. Like, you're doing heroin for 5 minutes and then you're chasing that high the rest of your life. You're probably going to do a lot of bad things to get it, and now you're going to end up in hell for eternity.
That's an interesting point.
Yeah,
get me on the straight and narrow.
My logic was, let me see as bad as it gets, right? Let me see the worst shit, right? Or what if it's fire, actually? Not literally, but like, what if it's dope down there? Like, what if it's fun? Like, what if it's... Then I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck the other place. I don't know. I just want to see the worst it could get before I commit to, like, let's say the Jesus thing is real, right? But like, before I be all fucking Jesus is knocking on niggas' doors and shit, before I do all that, let me make sure this is something I want to commit to. Like, let me check out the other spot before.
But when you come back, you'd be scared. And if you see heaven, I would imagine that if you see heaven, you come back to life, you live the rest of your life being like happier, knowing that after you die, like you've got a sequel, you know? You've got something to look forward to.
Wouldn't that be skating pretty close to one of the 7 deadly sins? Like, if you're so prideful about where you're going, could that not send you to the other place?
I don't know if that's pride though.
It could. No, if you're walking around like you're better than everybody else.
If you were guaranteed to go, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it'd be the rest of your life for some people might just be more peaceful, because you eliminate one of the big fears that we have, which is what happens after we die.
I think so the way I would approach it was, it's like I approach anything, right? I don't have expectations of, I have preconceived notions, but I don't expect anything of anybody when I meet them, right? So that way I'm never disappointed. So if I die and I go to heaven and I choose heaven first, like the expectation, that's my bar for when I die. The bar is high, right? But if the bar is low, when I die, and let's say I definitely don't want to do that, I'll just do good. And then when I get there, it's going to be that much better because I've seen the bad place. Because everybody in heaven hasn't seen the bad place, right? They can't. They don't know the other side. So at least I've seen the other side, and we're like, yeah, well, trust me, we in the right spot. I just feel like it's weighing my options better.
I also don't know if I believe in hell.
I definitely don't believe in either one, but hypothetical.
Like, I grew up like going to Catholic school, and obviously heaven and hell were a big part of that. I think hell, and Big T, you can argue with me on this, I think hell is a marketing tactic.
It's been used as that. I don't think that necessarily means it's not real.
In the hell episode, we dipped into that a little bit.
It was like that's how they sold it to like the Germanic chiefs who believed in like their Thor gods, because they were like, well, Thor says that you can get out of hell technically, but our hell is permanent, so it's better to try to not get into permanent hell, because if you're wrong, you could work out of Thor's hell.
Yeah, like, okay, then I agree with you guys. Yeah, hell, like, I don't know. I think purgatory sounds more real than hell does.
Just hanging out for a while.
Like, purgatory sounds like ghosts, pretty much.
Purgatory sounds like what we're in right now, living and breathing day to day. Like,
some people think that it is.
Yeah, which I'm not opposed to that argument, but I think having, if you believe in God and you believe that there's an afterlife, it's one of those things again where it's like, how good is God where he's giving you the option to like go burn in for eternity type of thing. But also at the same time, like, what's Hitler up to right now? That's my other, like, it's not like Hitler's in heaven. Mm-hmm. Unless he said he's sorry before he died.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah. So we should also probably talk a little bit about the spirit molecule, DMT, which I think has a lot to do with some of the reported near-death experiences, or when people do actually die. Your brain releases the chemical DMT, which they call the spirit molecule, but it's your body's natural reaction to dying, which we've synthesized and you're able to take and get high off of. That to me feels like we're flying pretty close to the sun. If you're like, I want to feel like I'm dying from a drug, but in a good way. I've never done DMT. I know people that have. That some people say it's like it'll change your life. Other people say it's not that big of a deal. But that could also be where a lot of these descriptions of either out-of-body experiences or the light at the end of the tunnel, that could be the release of DMT into your brain, which makes you see these things, and then you come back because you get brought back to life through modern medicine. I don't know if anybody here has a DMT story or knows anybody that has a DMT story, but that from my conversations, that's kind of what I get from it.
I got a hot take.
Okay.
So let's say if you take DMT recreationally,
Mm-hmm.
it depletes your body's ability to produce it naturally. And then if you take it recreationally, when you die, you don't get it.
That
would suck.
Yeah, that would suck.
Like,
It's not the craziest thing to think. That's what happens with dopamine.
Yeah.
Like if DMT is the body's evolutionary way of easing you into death, and then during life you decided to OD on the shit, and now your body can't produce. That was nice. That's just horrifying. That sucks.
Yeah. Anybody have any other DMT takes? Any DMT stories?
My man's, I don't know if I mentioned this on a podcast yet, but my man's Neil Brennan. So he is he has convinced me to do ayahuasca with him. And that's like the long form of DMT. DMT is like the short. DMT lasts like, I think like 20, 30 minutes. Ayahuasca lasts for like 3 hours or 6 hours, anywhere in between that range. But it's the same chemical, I believe. He was an atheist, not like a picketing atheist where he's doing all like banging against religion like that. He just didn't believe. But he took ayahuasca, and he's done it multiple times. And he told me, or he went out in public. He says that he believes in a God now, which is that's powerful shit. Like I don't, because like if you're an atheist, you've done well, you should have. But he's very sharp. He's sharp as shit, and he's done his due diligence. He understands, his life and his worldview, and he's 40 plus years old, almost 50 years old, and to have something that like foundational of a belief to be changed with the influence of a chemical is wild.
Wild. That would be crazy if Arian went on this trip and then came back like a diehard Christian, like.
Put a cross on my chain and shit. That would fire, right?
Yeah, like evangelical. Like you won't stop until you convert everybody else that you talk to.
And then I'll be conservative in everything.
I kind of hope that happens. That would be quite a turn. That'd be a great storyline to follow.
That would be funny as shit, though.
When are you planning on doing this?
He's in New York right now doing a show, Unacceptable, which is dope. Everybody should check it out. And I think when he gets back in November, I believe. So I'm gonna take this time in October to like cleanse my body, because when you do it, you have to kind of like cleanse your body of like all the toxins and all that stuff. When he's back in November, I'm gonna set it up, and probably November, December, so I'm probably gonna get it in.
Yeah, keep us posted on that one.
I will do that.
I love it.
Arian and Big T form a conservative alliance after.
I would love nothing more in the world.
And then we're just like spending the whole show being like, "Stop, guys!"
Yeah, start a new podcast, just the two of you.
But then Big T does
news.
it. Then Big T does it, and Big T becomes a super lib. And then they have a break in alliance.
It'd be a good movie.
Freaky Friday.
And then Big T starts coming in dressed like a hippie.
Yo, Aaron, I wanted to ask you about this. So obviously growing up playing a lot of football, there's a large element There's a large element to religion.
It's a funny thing to say.
There's a large element of religion when it comes to football in particular, more so than any other sport. It's kind of it's its own thing. You never hear about. Well, I guess sometimes you do hear about basketball teams occasionally doing pregame prayers or things like that. But in football, there's always like a big pregame prayer. There's a big postgame prayer. It's a very common thing to have a heavy religious influence on the sport. Was that something that you kind of experienced growing up? And what was your read on that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I know the Our Father prayer by heart, and it's because literally we said it before every game, and every team did. The Our Father who art in heaven. Like, and I don't even like. It's weird that I know that, especially with my worldview. But it's weirder because I didn't grow up Christian. I grew up Muslim, and so, and my parents never had an issue with it because they were really staunch on the fact that they didn't want to influence our opinion about religion. They were like, this is what we believe in. We'll give you a foundation of what we believe in, but like, go find your truth. And I love them for that. And so they allowed us to experience different religions. Like I went to Catholic church. I went to Christian church. I went to mosques. I did it all. And so growing up and playing football, it was heavily influenced by Christianity, heavily. Everybody was Christian. And all the prayers were Christian. And all the coaches would push it on us. And I don't know how it is now, but that's how it was when I was growing up. And as you go up through the ranks, people respect your beliefs more and more. Like when you get to the NFL, like that shit's done. But like in college, we had a team chaplain. And we had a team chaplain in NFL, but it was more like, if you fuck with it, come fuck with it. But if not, like don't worry about it. But in college, it was really like heavily influenced. Like we had to go to church as a team. Like I remember we had to go to church and I was like, I'm not going to church with y'all. And they was like, you have to. I'm like, why are you making me go to church? This is weird. But what I remember about it was how influenced by religion everybody in the sport was. And so it was almost like a part of the sport in a weird way that I can't pin as to why. Like maybe Southern football had an influence. I have no idea as the reasons as to why, but it was so influential in how.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say I do think that's part of like football. Obviously, in the South is way bigger than it is anywhere else, and that's where religion is the biggest. So I think that probably does have something to do with it. I remember my high school coach. Oh, sorry, Coley. Our high school coach. I remember one game. We always prayed before games, but he one time was like, I don't remember if a parent had complained or something, but he goes, if they want to fire me for doing this, then they can do it. Let's all bow our heads. And I was like, what a thing to say before we're about to go out
Defiant
there.
prayer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the praying has a lot to do with the fact that, like, you guys didn't die playing. It makes a lot of sense, actually.
The violence that's inherent in the sport after the game's over.
We survived.
Yeah,
again.
thank you, God.
It's so weird. I'll be telling people, like imagine going to work and at both sides of the office there was an ambulance because there's a high probability that somebody's gonna need it. Like shit is wild to think about, and the PTSD that I have from that shit is very real. It's very real.
Yeah, that is, it's crazy to put it in perspective like that. Like walking into your office job, like you're a real estate salesperson, and yeah, there's like a surgeon that's on staff.
Yes.
One person today is getting carried out of the office. On a
Yeah, somebody's gonna need this shit, though. Somebody. It's wild. Like I remember vividly. Oh, go ahead, fam. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, did you ever get the opportunity to give a worried crowd a thumbs up to make sure they knew you were okay?
No. The most I got. So, I was always taught never lay on the ground, which is fucking dumb. But like when you're hurt, like never lay on the ground. Like don't let doctors carry you off. Like, but when I played against Miami 2015, I tore my Achilles. And like there are partial tears where people can like walk on it, but I couldn't. Like your foot just goes, you can't walk on it. And so like my guys had to like carry me out the field. And so the closest I got was, I was so distraught because leading up to that, like that was the best shape I had ever been in, and I had torn my groin before that training camp, and I was like distraught. Like I was fucking like emotionally done. Like I was sick of it. Like. had just been through the ringer, man. And so I was just bawling tears. Like when I'm getting carted off, I didn't give a fuck about the thumbs up. I was getting carted off, and I was just fucking bawling because like I knew what that meant. I knew my time with Houston was done. I knew, I was 29. I was like, running backs don't, especially coming off an Achilles, they're like nobody likes to take chances. So I thought like I was the end of my career. And so it was like to have it taken from you like that with some like routine ass route running that I did was wild. I did have a homie though, who's his name is Inky Johnson. Who's in college, right? You probably, you know him, Big T.
I got a signed Inky Johnson mini helmet on my desk.
Yeah, so Inky, for those that know, he's like one of the most influential people in my life. Went to college with him. He had this injury where his whole left arm he can't use. I think his right arm. His right arm, he can't use his right arm, and he got carted off the field. And it's wild, like seeing that shit on movies and shit, because when you see it happen to like somebody that you really love, and that was our same signing class. So like 04 class, we're like really tight. We have a big group chat with everybody. So it's like to see somebody actually go through it and see what it does to their family, and see, it's kind of like, so to see it like in movies and shit, it's like, you know what I mean? Like this shit is a real thing.
Yeah.
Not to bring, I'm sorry, I just brought everybody down, man. I'm sorry.
Y'all should, anybody that doesn't know Inky Johnson's story though should go on YouTube and listen to him speak. He's very inspirational.
He's turned it around. He's such a powerful human being in general. Like he's one of those rare human beings that you come across where you're like, yo, like I'm gonna live a better life because I came across him, and he's that for all of us.
Billy, you look like someone's on your mind. You ever been carted off, Billy?
Actually, luckily, back when I played, I was a huge like asshole in middle school football.
Yeah.
I was like a deep tackle, and no, like I'd like go for these huge hits, and I knocked out like a couple kids, not only in football but in lacrosse too, and they would get carried off on stretchers, and I knew in my head, I was like, one day karma's gonna get me and I'm gonna get carried off the field. Never happened.
So you haven't received your comeuppance yet?
Nope.
Moral of the story is injure other people so you don't get injured yourself.
Kind of.
Hit or be hit, dog.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think every player should just have a cart ready to take them off the field after every series. Not for injury or anything, just like you're tired. Have your guy drive out there on a golf cart, take you off so you don't have to walk. That's just me, but that's probably the mentality of why I'll never be a professional football player. Like a bullpen pitcher, getting driven out there. Let's talk about ghosts again real quick. Some of the most haunted places. What are the most famous ghosts of all time?
Well, there was one.
Casper?
Yeah. Gotta be Casper, yeah.
And the NBA has a haunted hotel outside of Oklahoma City. And I wanted to know if the NFL also had a haunted hotel.
Where is it?
Oklahoma City, where there is very much not a professional football team, so I don't think you would have stayed there. But outside, and I think in Milwaukee also might have one. But the OKC one for sure, it's been written about even in like the New York Times. It is known to be haunted for road players when they visit OKC. Was there nothing like that in the NFL?
Nah, not that I heard of. Everybody, there's not like one hotel that I guess everybody just picks whatever, because they got like business partnerships with like Hilton or whatever the case may be, so they kind of just stay wherever. Yeah.
Well, there's one in Milwaukee too.
Yeah.
I've stayed in that one, and it is weird. It's a very creepy place, but I think that I didn't experience anything like abnormal while I was there. Wait, wasn't there some player that said that he fucked a ghost in one of those hotels?
Wasn't that Ron Artest?
Man,
yeah,
what?
I think there are a couple people that have claimed that they've fucked ghosts in haunted hotels. I think they were just hammered. I think, yeah.
That's such an odd thing to say, dog. I've made love to a metaphysical being.
I would fuck a ghost.
I stayed.
That's probably the safest sex to have.
Yeah, it's probably great.
Yeah.
Not gonna get pregnant.
Yeah, it happened. The one Ron Artest claim said he did it at the same hotel in Oklahoma City.
Okay. I'm
The
looking up
ghosts
the
were
one in
all over
Milwaukee.
me.
Bruh.
The ghosts were all over me. I just accepted it. They touched me all over the place. I'm taking one of the ghosts to court for touching me in the wrong places.
This is satirical. It has to be satirical.
Have you heard Ron Artest?
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, bro, what?
Oh, I forgot about. Do you know who's a huge ghost guy? Dan Aykroyd.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Dan Aykroyd loves.
Wasn't he the one from Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But he's all in on He's all in on abductions too. Like he's a big. We need to get Dan. I know this is an easy task, but we need to get Dan Aykroyd on this show.
I would love to talk about ghosts with him. It's the Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee, the one that's allegedly haunted, and a lot of players don't want to stay there. So when the team goes to Milwaukee, they ask to get a separate hotel because they're afraid of staying in that one. So the story is that it's Charles Pfister that haunts the hotel. It was built in 1893, and apparently Bryce Harper, Brandon Phillips, Giancarlo Stanton have all seen the ghost in the Pfister Hotel. Gwen Stefani said that while she hasn't seen a ghost herself, one of her sons experienced a ghost. I think that might have been at the Pfister Hotel also. Machine Gun Kelly said that he saw a ghost in a hotel room. These are all kind of unreliable narrators, as I'm saying it out loud.
So I found this article, which is pretty interesting, about in Scientific American. So Scientific American used to have competitions among scientists to prove that ghosts were real. So in 1922, Scientific American announced a high-stakes international contest to find scientific proof of ghosts. The competition offered $5,000, and it pitted top scientists of the day against wildly popular psychic mediums. The contest also escalated a growing feud between two famous friends, renowned magician and escape artist Harry Houdini and Sherlock Holmes creator Arthur Conan Doyle. The magazine's interest in the afterlife was not so much an anomaly, but a product of the time. The U.S. and Europe were reeling from enormous numbers of deaths in the Great War and the 1918 influenza pandemic. To their family and friends, the spirit of the newly departed seemed to be appearing everywhere in parlor seances with mediums and at kitchen tables through store-bought Ouija boards. There was this desperation, this collective yearning to know there was an existence after death, says David Jayer, whose book The Witch of Lime Street chronicled the period. In parallel to this supernatural fascination, these years were filled with breakneck technological innovation. Electricity and radio were making what was previously unimaginable possible. Instant illumination and voices from afar appearing out of thin air. The science and technology of the time all seemed very magical to people, Jair said. There was such a thin line between what is scientific miracle and what is supernatural miracle. So cross-sticks communication or spiritualism did not seem entirely unreasonable. In an unlikely turn, Conan Doyle, a trained medical doctor as well as the author behind a famously rational detective, had become one of the highest-profile proponents of spiritualism on either side of the Atlantic. He was convinced that, among other things, he had been able to communicate with his dead son. He even toured the U.S. in early 1920s to lecture on the topic. On the debunking side was Houdini. The magician and Conan Doyle had briefly been friends, but then the writer tried to arrange for Houdini to receive a message from his dead mother via a medium. The illusionist saw that the act was a ruse, however, and he easily spotted trickery by other mediums as well, such as the use of a wire to move a distant object. He was unhappy with Conan Doyle and condemned the work of mediums as racket, Jair says, defrauding the bereaved. Scientific American regularly covered spiritualism as an interest of science. Many well-respected scientists, including renowned physicist Oliver Lodge, a magazine contributor, were vocal defenders of the practice's legitimacy. This article is way longer than I thought it was. While in the U.S., Conan Doyle contacted Scientific American's publisher, Orson Munn, and suggested that instead of covering psychic work as an ongoing debate, the magazine ought to take an official stance on it. Munn agreed.
You want to just read the entire article, Billy?
Sure. I thought I was going to get to this. Okay.
Summarize it.
Yeah.
Basically, they proved... So, two
Conan
psychic
Doyle got
experts...
pissed off.
The contest promised to use the latest scientific tools to ascertain once for all whether there were true conduits to the spiritual world. This equipment included induction coils, galvanometers, electroscopes, etc., with the purpose of testing electrical condition of the mediums at the moment when the phenomena are produced, others to prove the presence or absence of material objects, the magazine explained in the March 1923 issue. The psychics tests initially performed in the magazine's library got off to a slow and rocky start. Many of Conan Doyle's most revered mediums refused to appear in public competition. Contestants who did show were quickly dismissed by the judges as tricksters. I never saw such an awkward work in my life, Houdini noted after one of the early sessions. And so it went in fits of and false apparition starts for more than a year. The news began to emerge about a medium in Boston who did not take money for her seances and who seemed to have no particular motive for being a conduit. The woman, Mina Crandon, was married to a respected surgeon and so loathed publicly, unlike the other mediums the magazine encountered, that she received a pseudonym, Marjorie. So an editor in some of the contests set off to Crandon's residence on Lime Street, Boston for preliminary visits. Bells rang in the dark, and Victrola played without explanation. The voice of the medium's dead brother conversed with observers. But Marjorie could not convince Houdini, who called her all fraud. The Scientific American community eventually reached the same conclusion after observing nearly 100 seances.
Okay, so no ghosts.
No ghosts.
Okay, no ghosts. No ghosts were found. I got it.
They did it again in 1941.
There was a thank you, Billy, by the way. There was a documentary by a guy by the name of James Randi. James Randi was I believe he was a magician, and he got tired of people getting conned by either magicians, mediums, and who those people who
psychics.
Yeah, psychics, all those people, and especially like the religious people who would be like, I can talk to you. Oh, that's a medium, yeah. So anyway, he set out and he would like actively prove them to be frauds, and he would like go and show people how they did what they did, and so much so as he had like an open bet. He's like, if anybody's like a medium, if anybody can do like real magic, he's like, I have $1 million bet that you can do. And he said, you just have to pass these tests, and nobody ever did.
Yeah,
which is really fire, actually.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, put your money where your mouth is. If you think that you can actually talk to ghosts, like that John Edwards crossing over guy, the guy that just makes money based off, tricking people into believing that he can talk to their dead relatives because he has, his cameraman go out there before the show, do interviews like, oh, what are you hoping that he'll talk about? Like, he's very good at cold readings.
That's what it is, cold readings.
Yeah,
yes.
Cold readings. He's really good at it. And there are things that you can pick up about people based off of what they're wearing, their appearance, the questions they ask, all the above. And so then you can tell them that you're actually talking to a relative. And some people are really good at tricking people into believing that it's true.
Well, I think the sad part about it is that they prey on vulnerable people. And so these are people who just lost loved ones. These are people who just lost relatives. And like, they're just looking for anything to cling on to have some kind of semblance of a memory of the person that they had. So like, them cold readings it's really cold hearted. Is they'll just, is there anybody with an M? I'm hearing M, M or N, M or N, N, like, and they just do that shit. Like, did he have a special object that he kept it, like silly shit like that really like touches people. Like, it was the funniest shit in the world is watching cold readings gone wrong. Oh my God. Just like type in cold readings gone wrong, and it's like, just it's the funniest shit in the world, dog.
I would feel so awkward watching that.
It's so awkward. It's fun watching it because you see how full of shit that they are.
Yeah.
Like, there was one, I'm gonna botch it, but there was one dude who was like, he was talking to like a group of people from Ireland, and he's like, I feel there's anybody, an O'Neill or O'Brien or something like that. He was like, yes, nigga, the whole room. Shit was hilarious.
Does anybody here like beer? Anyone at all? I'm looking at a list of people that have fucked ghosts. This is very important. Kesha fucked a ghost, she said.
Of course.
She wrote a song about fucking the ghost. She told Jimmy Kimmel that she went to the Bone Zone with the ghost. So Kesha's fucked a ghost. Lucy Liu has fucked a ghost. She said, it was bliss. I felt everything. I climaxed, and then he floated away. Good for Lucy Liu. And then she said, it's almost like what might have happened to Mary. That's how it felt. Something came down, touched me, and now it watches over me. All right, Lucy Liu fucked a ghost.
It's not that far-fetched, Big T. What do you think, man?
About fucking ghosts?
Yeah. Mary fucked a ghost.
That's what Lucy Liu said.
Okay. I wasn't. The Braves just won 3-0. We're up 2-1 in the NLDS. I wasn't completely paying attention, but yeah, no, Mary did not do that.
Dan Aykroyd. More about Dan Aykroyd. Holy shit! This is actually the biggest news of the entire podcast today. he used to fuck Mama Cass. Dan Aykroyd, the singer from the Mamas and the Papas.
Wait, is she the one with the tuna fish sandwich?
Ham sandwich, yeah. She choked on a ham sandwich and died. All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. California dreaming.
All the leaves are brown
and the sky is gray. Dan Aykroyd used to date her. And so he was.
Song. It's on my playlist. White Soul.
It's a great song. And Dan Aykroyd said that he was in bed with her, and a male ghost cuddled up to him in bed, and he was down for it. So Dan Aykroyd had a threesome with Mama Cass and a male ghost. There you go. There you go.
It's a fire playlist, bro.
Fellas, is it gay to fuck a male ghost?
Well, I've heard Aykroyd tell the story, and he basically said it was just like a big old snuggle session with the male ghost.
Oh, that's good. I would cuddle a ghost, absolutely.
Yeah, little spoon.
I'm not cuddling a ghost.
I would 100%. They've got to be great cuddlers.
So you would cuddle with a male ghost?
A ghost? I don't know.
Being a heterosexual man.
Do I don't know. What is the ghost? What is it? Is it like a spirit? Is it misty? Or is it just like a dude next to me?
I've never seen a ghost, but I assume if it can cuddle, it is not transparent, and it is a solid object.
Okay, yeah. If it was a solid object, maybe not. But just like the feeling of a ghost engulfing you and like giving you a big hug probably feels good.
Oh, Avery, what?
And it could be a spirit, and it could be trying to choke the life out of you.
That's true. I would not want to get killed by a ghost, but I would cuddle with one.
Yeah, I wouldn't cuddle with a ghost in general. I don't know if it's a dude or a female ghost.
Well, there's this thing I was looking up that we were going to do a show on that was big amongst the My Little Pony community. And so there's a bunch of people online who are trying to create adult imaginary friends.
Uh-huh.
So they're trying to basically, they want to create people in their minds that act on their own, so that they can have companions. So, for example, and they use like Buddhist scripture and like old. Remember me talking about this, PFT, right?
Of course.
Yeah, I forget the name of it though.
Well, the people who like My Little Pony are bronies, right?
Right, bronies. But basically, they try to make themselves go schizophrenic so that they have a being that talks to them and converses with them throughout their day-to-day life that they create in their head. And it becomes so real that they have a hallucination. So the bronies like try to make My Little Pony characters like be real in their brains and them interact with them. And then another community is trying to basically make an imaginary like schizophrenic character in their head that they can have sex with.
The internet was a bad idea.
So what are they called? Humans are so bored. Humans are fucking bored, bro.
What you're describing it's actually kind of interesting because it's like if I just get enough people to believe in something that we're all making up together and we all know that we're making up together, will it become real for everybody?
Religion, yeah.
Okay, yeah, cool. Good point. Cool.
I was gonna go with comics, like superheroes.
Yeah, Batman's not real. But we all know all the details of Batman's life. We know
the worst superhero of all time, dog.
He's not even a superhero. He's just a rich dude. Doesn't have superpowers.
I do not like. I like Batman and Captain America. Both are just the worst. Just shit.
Batman doesn't even eat pussy.
Was it one of you guys who said that Batman's only superpower is white privilege? Did I?
I don't think I said that. But
where did I hear that?
Makes sense.
Where I made it up.
Probably on the internet. You're an internet anthropologist.
Yeah.
All right, I think we've done a good job getting to the bottom of ghosts.
Tulpamancy.
What's that?
That's when they try to involves the creation of an imagined sentient companion that abide by within their host's mind, that either their hosts use for companionship or to have sex with.
But everybody believes in this thing that they made up just for the purpose of making it up to believe in. So I think there's a little bit of a difference there between like a superhero who's invented, to tell stories about, so that people can read it in a book and you can look at drawings of it. And then this, which is just people agreeing to make up a character that they can believe in because they made it up together.
No, it's not even that. It's just so that one person can have the fun and joy of like interacting with this character that they have like actually made a thing in their brain.
Mm-hmm.
If you could be a ghost, what would be the first thing you would do?
That's a good question.
Sneak into some places and try to find out the truths.
You would try to fuck Ron Artest, wouldn't you?
Well, I am a ghost, and I did fuck Lucy Liu. So I get to count that, right?
I think I would just fly, bro. Like,
Yeah.
if they can fly, just fly. Like, just
Can they fly?
spend a whole day chilling.
I'd like sneak into Area 51. Couple cool places.
That's a good idea.
I feel like that'd be the worst place. If there's a place that truly can catch ghosts, that's it.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the spot where they have the ghost tech. Like that's.
Or they probably
away.
have entities that can detect ghosts.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like
Yeah.
next to the real guards or the ghost guards.
They
Like,
probably got a whole collection of ghosts down there that they've caught.
Yeah, it's far away.
Denver Airport.
Denver Airport, go underground
See
there.
what's going on there. Yeah.
That'd be boring. That'd be a waste of a trip. There ain't shit there.
I would really like to sneak into Alex Jones's bathroom and watch him take a shit for the comedy. I bet he takes the loudest craps. He's probably screaming while he does it.
No, I don't think he does, man. I think because he probably doesn't eat that well, right?
You think he
And
craps
so-
discreetly, Alex Jones?
When you eat like shit, not shit, but when you eat horribly, like your poops aren't very full, so it's probably just like little droplets. It's not like
Disagree.
I think
someone who eats poorly, I'm pushing logs, friend.
I think he just gets on
Really?
the toilet and turns a shade of red that does not exist in nature.
Correct.
And just screams, just yells, almost like he's willing the poop to come out of his butthole.
Do you take probiotics?
I do. I don't take anything.
I'm How are you have full clean
Oh yeah.
and you don't eat well?
No, I feel like you eat well, you eat clean. Like I definitely eat like closer to a trash person than you do. But yeah, I still have normal shits.
That's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, just
I was thinking of like two scenarios. I was thinking either A, I would follow John Daly around all day. Like it would just be a lot of fun just to see what he's doing. And then why did I just lose the other one? That'll come back to me.
all right.
It's pretty funny. I think following anybody around all day just to kind of be nosy would be fun to do. Like,
Oh, and I'd want to be in the locker room halftime after Alabama was down to Texas A&M. I'd want to see Nick Saban yell.
That would be fun. Actually, you know what I would do? I think this is a good one. I would follow Kyrie Irving around, and I would make my presence known to a point where he could not dispute that there was a ghost in the room with him, and then make him have to talk to the media about how he saw a ghost, and everyone's like, "There goes Kyrie again. What a weirdo this guy is." And meanwhile, yeah, it fucking happened.
you should just like write on all his walls like get vaccinated.
Yeah. I would absolutely fuck with Kyrie. And I would tell him, nobody will believe you.
Just gaslighting Kyrie.
Gaslighting.
Yeah. I would,
He's already dealing with a nobody will believe you reality. I don't know if that would really shake him all that much.
yeah.
What's the update? Is he still holding up?
Still holding out for now. I actually don't know. They've been talking to Kevin Durant about like what the future of the team's going to be. They just made a rule that he's going to be allowed to practice with the team in Brooklyn, but he's still not allowed to. He would not be allowed to play.
I saw they had a practice the other day. They're like practice in the park thing. Like they just had a fan event at the Brooklyn Bridge, and like he was practicing, but he was wearing a mask. I don't know if that was mandated or not, but nobody else was, but he was.
Okay.
Didn't he tweet like stop being afraid, take your mask off or something?
Yeah, and then quickly, like 45 minutes later, I think someone was like, "Hey, people are interpreting this poorly," and then he was like, "No, I meant like society's mask and something like that." So,
Yeah. You thought you could come to
Okay,
Kyrie with
Langston
like
Hughes, we wear the mask. Okay.
you thought you could come to Kyrie with like a little bit of like you were taking him literal, and Kyrie's like, no, you are not thinking deep enough for me, my friend.
yeah, anyone listening to Kyrie and taking like what he's saying at face value still in 2021, that's on you.
All right, that's good ghost talk. I feel like this is a good natural endpoint for ghost talk, and we should do some voicemails from people. Now, I do have a Ouija board. Do we want to let the Ouija board answer a voicemail?
That's fire.
Yes,
You got a
please.
Ouija board?
We got a
There's-
Ouija board right here.
There's actually a voicemail that I picked out about spirituality that it can answer.
Okay. So
I love how it comes in like a Monopoly box. Like it's just like it's a regular like ages 12 and over.
Yeah, you can't be 11 talking to the afterlife.
Oh, wait, I've got the thing.
Oh, did y'all ever play growing up light as a feather, stiff as a board?
You brought
Yeah.
a Ouija board that doesn't have a Ouija board, huh?
There's no Ouija board in here.
Wow.
It's just the Ouija.
Now I believe it's haunted.
I've got the Ouija, but no board. How about, hey, Big T, can you write down yes and no? And then,
What?
yeah, just write down the words yes and no on this Ouija board. Maybe write it on the top on the top of the box so that the thing can glide across it a little bit more easily. So no, like flip it over.
Give the ghost a nice
That
surface
side.
to work with.
There you go. Just write yes and no.
I mean, this
You don't want
isn't
any-
gonna.
Don't want any viscosity with the Ouija.
Okay, and then we'll test it out. What's a good first question, Billy? What do you give me a yes or no question to ask this ghost? Could be literally anything.
Billy, think about fuck
We
or
don't have
anything.
Sharpie in here.
There's another pen right there.
Is Scott Peterson guilty?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Convicted doesn't mean guilty.
Right. So we're asking if he's guilty.
I know.
Because all we know about Scott Peterson right now is what we've learned through the rule of man, which is
I like
flawed.
how
And the
we
mainstream
assume
media.
if there's a ghost in the room, it's now all knowing. Like it knows everything.
Well, it should be able to get the answer fast.
It should.
But how-
They know
how-
somebody.
how the ghost
Talk to
will-
other ghosts that was there.
Talk to
Like, yo, you was in you handled that Peterson thing, right? Like,
who's- what's Mrs. Peterson's name? It's terrible that we know the killer, not the victim.
Lacey.
Lacey
Lacey
May she
Peterson.
rest in peace.
Okay, Big T, put your hands on this.
No, I'm not doing that.
Come on, Big T.
Nope. Not
Billy,
doing
can
it.
you do it?
Such a
Get over there.
non-fun person. Why
Not
are you so
doing it.
not fun?
Not doing it.
Is that sacrilegious?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna ask. We're gonna find out.
We gotta get more hands on deck.
I think it's just 2 people at a time, right?
No, it's
All right. Avery, Mad Dog, come over here.
Maddie Avery.
We're gonna figure this out. So everybody put one hand on, and you're supposed to put it on. I think apply like a small amount. Don't push down. Don't push down, but just have.
Wait, why don't we use the Ouija board in the picture?
We don't have a Ouija board.
It didn't come in the box.
The box was empty.
He's saying the literal picture on the box, but it's the.
This is better. This is better. Okay.
You got a shit Ouija board. How-
Okay, we can edit some of this out. Make it look like we're somewhat competent.
I don't think that's what people want.
I love that they
Okay.
have the patent on it.
Yeah, because it's real. I invented a machine that talks to ghosts. It costs $8.
You gotta move the Coors cans out of the way.
Okay.
You see these bullshit capitalist ghosts, Arian? It's sickening.
I see them. Everybody's in on it, man.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Okay. All right. Don't push down.
So I just hold my finger above it?
Just hold your finger. Like, put a tiny bit of pressure. All right. Ghost. Is Scott Peterson the real killer of Lacey Peterson? Are you guys moving it?
No.
Are you guys doing anything to move it?
No.
Y'all niggas lying like a motherfucker.
I'm not doing anything.
It's actually like not even dumb enough to be funny. Like it's just dumb.
I'm not doing anything to move it.
Oh, I'm not doing anything. We'll just have our hands on it.
It's going.
Look at I'm moving my finger.
It's going.
Yeah, we know.
No, I'm raising it up.
It's going towards the yes.
Billy pushing that shit down.
Shocking that out of any direction it could have moved, it moved in one of the exact 2 it needed to. Also,
Yeah, that's because it's a
fascinating.
ghost talking to us.
Where was it gonna go?
It could have moved.
That's
it could have moved any of
the ghost is really talking
360
now.
degrees, and it went
The
precisely.
ghost is really talking to us right now. That's a yes. It's on the yes. Scott Peterson, guilty. I don't need to see anything else.
Thank God we confirmed that. with
Yeah.
the plastic heart on the box.
With the undead.
Involved, it might have gone to no.
If I was involved in it went differently, that means it wasn't a ghost.
All right, well, Scott Peterson is guilty as charged. Banging my gavel. Let it be written, let it be known. Scott, you did it.
Damn.
Sorry, Big T.
Oh, no.
Never meet your heroes, right?
They do say that.
Before we get to voicemails, I want to talk to you about our great friends over at Roman. Most guys have tried different ways to last longer. Thinking about baseball doesn't always work. So the folks over at Roman, an online men's health company, are changing the game with Roman Swipes. It's the secret to longer lasting sex. Roman Swipes are a clinically proven way to last longer in bed. They're effective, easy to use, and fast acting. They don't require a prescription. Roman can ship swipes to you in discreet, unmarked packaging, and each swipes packet is small enough to hide in your wallet for whenever you need it. They're super easy to use. You just take the swipes out of the packet, you swipe it on, let it dry, and you're good to go. That's it. So we got a special deal for you guys. If you go to getroman.com/dose, get your first month of swipes for just $5 when you select a monthly plan. That's only if you go to getroman.com/dose, getroman.com/DOSE. All right, let's get to some actual voicemails. I wish we had the real Ouija board, though. That'd be sick.
Okay, ready?
Hi, I'm Anne Marie from H-Town. I love the podcast. Y'all are actually the first podcast I've ever listened to religiously. And on that note, I'm a mental health nurse, and I've recently been fascinated with this topic, so I'd love to hear Macrodosing's perspective and force y'all to have a deep, somewhat uncomfortable and vulnerable conversation. So the question is, what does spirituality mean to you? To what extent does it play a role in your life? And if it's non-existent, what gives you the meaning and fulfillment that spirituality gives to other people? So anyways, y'all are very handsome. Mad Dog, you are gorgeous, and I hope you have fun having this conversation. Take care.
All right, thank you. That's a deep question.
Yeah.
I would like to be called gorgeous instead of handsome. I'm in the Maddie camp. I want to be gorgeous.
Okay, everyone start calling us gorgeous now.
No. Call them handsome. Me and Maddie are gorgeous.
Okay.
We got to just draw the line there.
Who wants to go first?
What was the tail end of that question? I couldn't catch it.
So, basically,
what does spirituality mean to you? And if you're not spiritual, what gives you the fulfillment in your life that other people get from spirituality?
Which would fall more onto you, Arian.
Yeah, I'll take it. So spirituality to me is what, and I don't mean it disrespectfully, but it's what people view as their connectivity to their belief system in a deity, right? So like, because everybody has a different definition of what they define as God or whatever the case may be, and so spirituality is how they connect to that. And I think the joy that people get from it and stuff is a very real thing, like the communal aspect and all of that. I think how I derive that without it is through like love. It's the people that are here with me, the people who have passed that love me and how I love them. And it's really cherishing the relationships that I have and honoring those relationships to the best of my ability. It fulfills me, and also loving myself and finding out who I am and finding out the things that I love, the things that I like, the things that fascinate me, and really honoring that curiosity really fulfills me as a human being.
It's a good answer. It's a very good answer. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to top that.
It's so stupid now.
No, it's good. I liked it. It's love, man. Billy?
Something that's fascinated me about, they did like MRI scans and fMRI scans on super religious people who really believe and truly practice all the practices of whichever religion they practice, and they have their mental health is extremely well constructed, in that they have very low instances of depression, anxiety, and other mental illnesses. And I always found that fascinating, and honestly sort of the fact that that super religious people had such mental constructs because of their belief system and the way their brain works in relation to how they perceive the world. That was something that was probably has kind of no relation to the question, but I found just fascinating that basically it's a belief system that allows them to sort of, avoid very, not modern problems, but problems that a lot of people struggle with in depression, anxiety, and other sorts of stuff.
All right. I think for me, spirituality is mostly just about making yourself, and not in a self-deprecating way necessarily, but as small as possible, shrinking your ego as small as possible to realize that you're a part of so many other things that are way, way bigger than you, that are way, way bigger than you'll ever be. And I think if you get a good enough perspective, it can be calming to know, like, to accept the fact that you're just a blip in a much, much, much bigger picture. And I think it improves people's mood and behavior when they realize the reality of that. And I think it improves the world around them once they have that right. So for me, I guess spirituality is more about perspective, but I would never say like I'm a spiritual person, but in the way of looking at spirituality as being like, what is your belief system that connects you to the rest of the world? I think that's the healthiest perspective, in my opinion, that you can have.
That was pretty good too, man. I think you might have got me.
Anyone else?
I was just gonna say, like, for me, I equate that word with religion, like, personally. So when people say, I'm not religious, but I'm spiritual, I don't necessarily know what they mean when they say that, because that's not how I feel about it. So to me, it's just like religion, but also like how that relates to your own life and how that makes you think about the world and yourself.
What denomination are you?
So I grew up going to a Baptist church. I told you about the crazy Baptist church we went to.
Yep.
My parents now go to a Methodist church. I've done several. I don't know that I'd necessarily like claim any particular one. I don't.
You're a swinger.
Yeah, all the denominations, they get into some really weird like stuff. I think they're all pretty much fine.
They put you into boxes sometimes.
Yeah, like the Independent Southern Fundamental Baptist, those I will say I'm definitely not that. The Methodists do some weird stuff though. Like I'm down with the core tenets.
What's some weird stuff that somebody does?
So the Methodist Church is like kind of similar to the Catholic Church in a lot of the ways they go about things, like the ceremonial aspects of church, I guess. Like it's fairly similar to a Catholic service, which is interesting to me. But that's what my dad grew up doing. So that's the church they go to now. Baptist is like, when you think of church that you don't like, it's probably Baptist church. I don't know how better to put that. Like, Baptist church is pretty fundamental. Like the church I went to as a kid only played hymns. Like, they talked down about playing, like, contemporary Christian music.
Some fire and brimstone.
Like, they thought if you played the drums, like, you'd go to hell.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't want my son playing the drums.
So just stuff like that. But there's all like little
all the instruments you could pick, and like you're playing the one where you literally can't think if you're in the same house as somebody playing the drums.
That's fair.
My son likes the drums, right? So for Christmas, he don't listen to this podcast, so I can spoil it. But for Christmas, I'm giving him one of them electric drums where it's just you'll just hear that.
Yeah.
You hear it like that. So I'm getting him one of them. And he can just rock out all day.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. I'm not the first person to say that. In fact, I'm sure I've heard it from somebody else. But it sounds to me, Big T, like you look at Christianity like a buffet where you can go and you can pick the stuff that you like from different aspects of it. You've got the meat carving station over here.
You were just asking about denominations, and I think most...
I'm not saying like in a derogatory way.
Most of the differences in denominations are like not really that important. So like it's kind of just what you prefer, in my opinion.
I mean, they're pretty important, or else there wouldn't be different denominations.
But it's not like
the majority
essential
of
to like salvation. Mostly, like most of the beliefs are pretty much in line with each other. It's minor stuff.
A lot of splitting hairs.
Yeah, it's not real. They all believe Jesus is the Son of God. You get salvation through Jesus. As long as those core tenets are the same, like I don't really care what.
And don't play drums.
Yeah, I'm not down with that. I like me a good Christian music with some drums in it.
Okay.
The problem with Christian music is now, though, this is a problem I've had for a long time. You turn on a Christian radio station, they've played the same 7 songs since 2003. It's out of control. We need new Christian music. So, if anybody out there,
Honda.
Have you ever heard of Lecrae?
I love Lecrae.
Okay.
He has a song with Tori Kelly, one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
What's that called? Find You or something like that. Very good song.
I don't know.
But yeah, more. You asked and you were like, yeah, I don't like him.
I know of him, like, but I've never heard like a whole song.
But if you turn on a Christian radio station, they've played the same song since I was a kid. It's out of control.
Do you like Kirk Franklin?
Yeah, he's good. Like, yeah, Newsboys.
Newsboys, yeah. DC Jars of Clay, DC Talk.
So DC Talk is Newsboys, right? They just changed the name, I think.
Okay. Anybody else have anything on spirituality, or you want to go to the next one?
Exercise.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. I think spirituality. I have said many times that I grew up going to Catholic school, and I think being away from that for a while now, spirituality to me is more of like a security. Or how I see it is more of like a security blanket. It's like a sense, like what you guys were saying. It's like a sense of like safety and a sense of like, oh, there's something leading me somewhere, who knows to what, but yeah, it's more of a sense of like security and safety. And I think people use spirituality and religion as that, as in a sense of this is all worth something.
Finding meaning.
Yeah.
DC Talk is not Newsboys. They just had one of the same guys.
Got it. Okay.
Okay. Are we ready for the next, or anyone else?
Well, I was gonna say it's kind of like how you process the like nature and the universe and your place within it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like it.
I like that question. All right, ready?
Hey, boys, and that y'all are incredibly handsome. This is Adam from Wisconsin. You know, I've been thinking I want to get a tattoo, but I'm not sure what I should get. I was thinking maybe a slice of pizza or something stupid like that. Or you guys can help me pick out one. Maybe it could be like a mythical creature Billy comes up with, or I don't know. Yeah, hopefully you guys use me on the pod. Thanks, boys and girl. Peace.
Good question.
So
Can I go first?
Big T. He gets a tattoo of Big T.
So I heard a phrase recently, and I was like, if I was to ever get a tattoo, this would be it. Rebellion against tyranny is obedience to God. I want that tattoo. So if you're
aggressive.
Yeah, I love it though.
What tyranny are you rebelling against?
Big to you.
You've been checking. You've been checking
the mask mandates, brother.
I saw.
Yeah, you look around.
I know where you got that from.
I heard it from a friend. I don't know where it came from.
4chan.
No, it was trending with this. Like, do you see how this new Civil War was trending? That was one of the taglines.
I think you just made that up.
Look it up.
Yeah, you've made a lot of shit up.
I'm not.
Well, it's a quote from Benjamin Franklin. So yeah, you're just.
It was trending with that Civil War though.
The word "the" trends with bad shit. Like
against.
I mean, I'm down with it. I'm down with it.
Obedience to God.
The real quote is "rebellion to tyrants is obedience to God."
Okay.
There's a lot of $20 T-shirts with this phrase on it.
I guess
I might settle for that.
Tyrant can be such a subjective thing because you can just label whatever you don't like as being tyranny,
and you can label whatever you want as obedience to God.
These are some cool shirts.
These are.
I'm gonna get
okay.
Shirts.
I'll say if I lived in the time of William Wallace, and if Joe Biden declared prima nocta, where him and Nancy Pelosi get to fuck your wife on the night of your wedding. I'm all in on what Big T's saying right now. Yeah, sign me up. I'm gonna be a proud boy.
Describing the tattoo for this guy.
Oh
no, this guy needs to get a giant frog tattoo.
Okay, yeah, this is what I want.
Yeah.
What kind of frog?
No, the one just like the one that we talked about. in the.
He's gotta have sunglasses on.
Sunglasses on the frog.
Glass frog.
Sunglasses on the frog.
Just African bullfrog with sunglasses.
That's a good tattoo.
That's fire. And then send a pic. That's cap. I don't think he's actually gonna get this shit, but that'd be fire.
I could tell by this guy's voice he was kind of real.
Yeah, he seems into it.
There's sort of uneasiness in his voice.
I mean, I would get an African bullfrog tattoo with sunglasses on. That's a very chill tattoo.
Yeah.
But then you can always clip this part of the podcast and be like, "Why'd you get this tattoo?" And be like, "That's kind of cool."
Yeah. If this guy actually gets it, please send it to us and tag us, and I will repost it everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm at the point in my tattoo life where I don't even give a fuck what I get anymore. I just want to fill up the arm.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he's there with it because that's where I'm at.
Arian, can you get an African bulldog with sunglasses on them, please?
I'm not gonna put no fucking frog on my skin. It's gotta be at least somewhat like. It's gotta match. So you know what I'm saying? Like I have King Tut on this arm and like the Eye of Ra, which is a dragon.
Was Ra a dragon? No, there
Ra was a sun god.
No.
What? Does he have an animal head, or am I imagining that?
They had serpents. There were a lot of serpents.
Yeah, there's serpents, but like
the asp.
We're gonna get into the white dragon versus Asian dragon again.
Hey, you brought it up.
All right, what's next, Mad Dog?
Okay, so this is our last one.
Get that tattoo though.
Yep.
This is Ben from Portland. I've got a question that has done a great job of killing time at work. How much do you think Danny DeVito weighs? Talking early Sunny, maybe 2010, 2012-ish DeVito. I've had guesses from 170 to 300. I'd love to hear your take.
There's no ways.
Have a good night.
160 pounds.
If Danny DeVito weighed 300 pounds, he couldn't walk.
Yeah, that would be weird. Okay, so hold on. Nobody Google it yet.
Yeah, Billy, don't Google it.
I looked up his height.
Yeah,
Avery,
he's short.
Google it and then tell us all who is the closest.
Was he 5'10" or 5 foot tall?
4'10".
4'10".
4'10". I'm going with 178.
I think Billy's right. Billy said it so surely right off the bat, and I think I'm finding myself agreeing with him.
150 to 160 pounds.
He's got an ass though.
I'm going 170. He's kind of thick though.
Yeah, but the height thing, that's where it get. I'm pretty decent at
I like the 160.
weights.
I'm going 170 just because. Yeah. I like the 160 though, but I'm going to say 178. No, 75. We'll do 175.
155.
176.
I'm saying 165.
You just fucking $1 me? Price is right?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god, bro.
I mean, if the goal here is to get closest, my guess was gonna be I was gonna say like 190.
I'm gonna say
$1.
I'm gonna say 180.
I'm imagining myself scooping up Danny DeVito. He's a very scoopable human. I think I could do it easily. I think.
Okay, so I was watching. Okay, I don't know what the politically correct term is for
little people.
I don't know if that's what they enjoy to be called or not. But I was watching The Circle. Have you seen The Circle on Netflix?
I haven't seen it yet.
Anyway, there was one joint named Roxana, and she was a person like that. And when she met one of the dudes, like he wanted to like pick her up, and I don't think that they like that. I think that would be really degrading.
They don't. So well, I don't want to speak for every little person out there. But I do know that we have Za in the office, and Za has been very public about like the things that he doesn't mind and the things that he doesn't ever want to be picked up by a stranger, and the thing that he hates the most is being patted on the head. He said that happens a shocking amount of time. Like people see him and his head is down at hand level for a lot of people, and they'll like just tap him on the head, and he's like, "No, I want to kill you when you do that."
That makes sense though. What a weird thing to do to pet another human. What the fuck?
I think I could scoot. I think Danny DeVito and I weigh about the same. I'm thinking.
Going off the Za point, like Za's as dense as like a dying sun. Like he's sneaky the heaviest guy we have.
Yeah, so Za's upper body is completely like it's the proportions and weight and dimensions of somebody that was taller, but his legs are really short. And so from the waist up, I think is where you carry generally most of your mass, right? So I think, I don't know. I'm going to go 165 sounds about right for Danny.
I think he's a little lighter than everyone's because the dimensions is what gets everybody.
Actually, now you know what?
That's why I'm saying 155.
I'm thinking heavier now.
Exactly.
I'm thinking heavier now because, yeah, I think I'm gonna go like 195.
No, because he's 4'11".
Yeah, but he's
You was just 4'10". You added a whole inch. That's a lot more
Yeah,
weight.
no, but the thing is people are sneaky hide weight the different size they are.
He's got some shoulders. He's got some meat on those bones. Avery, do you know how much he weighs?
All right, there's some conflicting numbers, but the one I see the most is they go in kilograms. It's 88 kilograms, which is 194 pounds.
Yeah.
No fucking
Yep.
way.
Yep.
I said 190 before it was cool, before y'all talked it out.
No.
That's
Hopped on my prices
No,
right.
check the tape. Check the tape.
PFT 1 fair and square, doggy.
No, that's fake news.
I think we talked through it as a group.
Also, you went over.
Okay, thank you.
I had 180.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, 190. That's he thick. He thick.
Yeah, when I typed it in, the first thing that came up, and it's like an article from no free ads. Anyways,
This
it
says he weighs around 67 kgs or 147 pounds.
yeah, I told you it's conflicting, but most of them say 88. So this one says it is obvious that the character is not the best friend of the gym. His physique alone is proof of this. Danny DeVito weighs 88 kilograms.
That's a mean way to put it. You didn't have
I
to
know.
say that.
That's not right. Didn't like that.
This says 147 pounds.
All right, I'm going to believe what Avery
way.
said because he said that we were right.
Anyway.
Confirmation bias.
Definitely.
All right, Mad Dog, we got anything else?
Are we doing underwear anymore?
I think we paused that.
We did pause
I
that.
think we paused that. So,
Hiatus.
so that'll be it for this week's Macrodosing.
Also, Tyler put out his first post.
Shut up.
Love
Yep.
it. New post just dropped. Narrate it for us. What is he wearing?
So he looks like he's outside of the practice facility. He's throwing up a peace sign, and he's got the black Macrodosing tee with just the generic logo.
Love
Yeah.
Looks
Love
great.
it. Beautiful.
Legend.
So stay tuned in the near future. Hopefully we'll get a second Macrodosing athlete in Hendon Hooker, starting quarterback of your Tennessee Volunteers.
He won't let us comment on it. There's no commenting allowed.
I get it.
He's ashamed of us.
You can't comment on any of his posts.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I take it back then. I take it back.
All right, cool. Well, tune in on Thursday. We're going to have a nano-dosing episode, Chapter 2, Art of War. Pick up your copy. We're going to do Chapter 2. I'm excited to get into this one. So that will come out Thursday morning. And I think unless anybody has anything else to say.
I just found the video of The Rock rapping.
Okay.
So I'm going to just play it.
All right.
On our way out.
Are we allowed to play this?
For sure not.
Also, I object to people being like, holy shit, the Rock is on a rap song. Have you guys not listened to the Fugees where The Rock does It Doesn't Matter, that song? There's an entire song that the Fugees put out in like the early 2000s with The Rock on it. Let's not, it's erasure.
The Rock has his own rap song?
He has a new one that just came out.
play
but
it.
Tech 9.
Who are the
Just
Fugees?
send it to the group. Don't play it on the.
You're saying a lot of shit that's making you sound old.
I
right
would
now.
say
The Fugees?
Yeah.
You
I'd
don't know
say
who the
play-
Fugees are?
Not even a little.
Bro,
bit.
you
Refugee
24?
All-Stars?
You not old, bro? What are you
Lauryn
talking
Hill?
about?
Praz? Lest we forget Praz.
No idea who this is.
Billy
Brett,
play it.
Wyclef Jean is obviously the other big name, but like Praz was there too.
Hold on, you don't know who Lauryn Hill is? That's a cultural thing. I ain't got shit to do with age, bro.
I think it's a big T thing. I think most people know.
Yeah,
who
that's
Lauryn Hill is.
bro. Lauryn
American
Hill
hip hop
is-
group formed in the early 1990s. I wasn't even alive.
Bro, that's not a nigga. I know Earth, Wind, and Fire can function like.
Yeah, that's not the same, though.
It's exactly the same. What you mean?
No.
Why should I know who? Why
If
should
we
I know
played
who?
their biggest songs, he would know them.
Like
100%
what
you
kind
would.
of songs?
Killing Him Softly.
Oh, okay,
Killing-
yeah.
Killing Me Softly. Sorry.
Yeah.
Fugees.
I just didn't know. I don't.
Fugees.
Okay.
All right. Well, that does
To
it.
Big T's credit, Lauryn Hill has done a lot to make sure she does not stay as famous as she could be.
That's true.
100%.
Big T. Who is Chase McGrath?
He is our kicker.
Well,
The word's spreading. The
He's
word's
reached-
getting
he
around
has
the
reached
locker
out.
room. Let's go. He's a good kicker.
I'm telling you, they're giving out bags, dog. I'm telling you.
They're just going into they are just spreading the word, and I love it.
That's hilarious.
It's not my money. I don't give a shit.
I will never ever give money to a kicker, nigga.
Come on.
I was gonna
Fuck
say.
Arian.
Niggas is not on the team, bro. Them niggas just do their own
Did
thing,
you not
bro.
watch?
Fuck
Well,
outta here.
I shouldn't say did you not watch because I know you didn't watch. But I mean, Texas A&M beat Alabama on a kick.
Don't care. The only kicker I really have ever liked was Shane Leckler. That is my fucking guy, bro.
He was a punter.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Shane Leckler, and then he's a kicker. Kicker, punter, same shit.
No, it's a different position.
Specialist.
He punts. Kickers kick.
Nigga,
The ball's
I
on the
put
ground
both
for a
of-
kicker.
I
It's
put
completely
both of them
different.
in the same group.
We
bro.
all look alike to Arian.
They kick the ball.
Arian.
Pat McAfee. That's my guy.
Yeah.
This is some of the he would throw up on you if he heard you talking like this about his line of work.
I wouldn't care. But he's one of the ones that I like. So.
He actually did do both, but
He threw up on me?
no, he was a kicker in college, and
I
then
was like,
they
what?
moved him to punter.
Some fake news.
Disgusting, Aaron. They practice too. Kickers, they're people.
Yeah.
All right? Try winning a game without a kicker. Can't do it.
Well, last week we talked about that coach who never kicks and punts.
Bro, if you see that picture, that picture of it was DK Metcalf and the kicker for the Seahawks, and he's like, we play the same sport. Like, that's what I'd be talking about. Like, sure, you're on the team. It's just, come on, man.
I think it's important to
I respect your profession, sure, but come on.
Don't respect anything about
At the beginning of this episode, Arian said he still has a lot of like self-growing to do, a lot of practices, and kickers are a group of people he still harbors.
It's just like no, like so when my off season, like any skill position off season, is like you have to put in work, like you have to like grind, like and kickers is like it's just you just go out there and kick, bro. It's not the same.
A lot of kickers are jacked now, though.
I think that's
by choice.
Yeah, it's by choice, and it's like a overcompensation thing.
Yeah, it's not a requirement for the position.
They get self-conscious because they're around a bunch of dudes in really good shape who act like Arian and tell them you're not a real football player, and they're like, oh yeah, let's see how big my arms can get, and then they pretend that that's like it's a qualification for them being athletic. I think Sebastian Janikowski was one of the best athletes in the NFL for years because that dude was fat as shit. Do you know how athletic you have to be fat and out of shape and still be like a Pro Bowl kicker? You have to have so much natural athleticism.
But it's like you can be a great kicker, like a great punter, but it's like you're not really playing ball. You know what I mean?
It's true. I mean,
I could be a hot take that nobody ever really says because they on the squad, but it's like you're not really playing ball, bro. You're just kicking it.
No, I mean Arian's 100% right. Arian, do you know I was a kicker?
I can see that.
Yeah, that's actually like really mean. I tried out for the XFL.
Really?
I didn't make it. Yeah, I got cut. It's okay. Well, at least I'm not a kicker. They did me a favor. All right. Before Arian slanders my profession and my brethren any further, I'm going to call it a day. This has been Macrodosing. Thank you for listening. We love you guys very much. And we will be back next week. Also on Thursday, but then full episode next week. We'll see you then. Love you guys.